What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, and this is it. This is your North London derby preview. Arsenal against Tottenham at the Emirates on Sunday. And you know what?
Just say it.
I just got a funny feeling this weekend Spurs can do something. How you feeling?
I think the injury news, we'll get into it, so great. And I think that's going to give everyone a boost going into this derby. And I think we give ourselves a fighting chance. Why not? Why not? And we owe them a lot, I think, in terms of the recent form. Like, we forget that. We're the ones with the European pedigree going into this. We need to stamp our authority at the Emirates. Go there and make sure they ain't taking that title. They ain't challenging for nothing this season. Man City are breathing down their necks. We got to make sure they cut the gap.
100%. Just before we get into all the North London derby content, we are going to go straight into a Tottenham update. And we're going to start off with the team and injury news going into the North London derby. And it seems as though our injury list has literally been cut into half this week, which is brilliant news. Thomas Frank did confirm in the press conference that Mohamed Kudus, Archie Gray, Lucas Bergvall, Pape Matar and Randall Kolo Muani, along with Kota Takai as well, all trained ahead of the North London derby. He also said that Radu Dragusin is getting closer and closer and very close to making his comeback as well. So very positive on the injury front.
Incredible news, because we went into this derby thinking who the hell's going to be available, who the hell's going to play, are we going to have, as you said before the international week, we had probably the worst crisis again in the Premier League, up to 30 names out, and now this seems as though this international break has come at the perfect time, hasn't it?
Yeah, it really has. Before the international break, we had 13 players on our injury list, and as you saw there, was it 5, 6?
And also with the centre backs now potentially fit, Dragusin, as you said, very close. Takai now, hopefully he'll make his debut at some point. Does that increase the likelihood we are going to see that back three maybe a bit more now? Because we've just been so hamstrung, I think, in the beginning of the season, because we've only had three centre backs. You can't really play all three of them consistently. Yeah. So I wonder if we're going to start to see that a bit more. Maybe tomorrow on Sunday we'll get into the predicted lineup. But Muani being fit, unbelievable news. Yes, he's going to be wearing a mask, but that's obviously fantastic. Kudus, such a big part of how we play. That's obviously really, really great news. The fact that Gray as well, there was rumours he could be out for a couple of months, wasn't there? With, what was it, hamstring?
I can't remember the injury he got, but yeah, it was supposed to be a significant one.
Yeah, so the fact that he's back training, that's really great news, and people forget that he was playing quite well. Sarr limped off during international duty, and there was obviously fears he might be, definitely out for this weekend. So the fact that he's training, he's available, really positive. I reckon there's a good chance that he starts this weekend. So I think the injury news is so positive. It's brilliant for us, and it gives us such a fighting chance, I think, going into the Sunday.
Yeah, in terms of some potential transfers, Spurs are actively looking to sign a world-class goalkeeper in January, with Emi Martinez a leading candidate to replace Vicario. How do you feel about that? For
me, I think Emi Martinez is a good keeper, and I think his journey is great. I think he's like the fact when he was like out on loan at Arsenal, not considered, and then out of basically sheer luck got into the Arsenal team, and through an injury from Lennon, the bit of career he's built himself 2 Yashin trophies, 3 international tournaments,
World Cup winner.
So his journey's brilliant, and I commend him for it. But for me, I don't think he's a world-class keeper. I don't think he's an upgrade on Vicario. I actually think he's quite overrated. I think he makes big saves, and he has these big moments, right? Penalty shootout moments. He's also, he grabs a lot of attention because of his shithousery, the way he deals with strikers and that kind of stuff. And he catches the eye, don't get me wrong. But I think he does make a lot of the mistakes that go under the radar. I don't think he's very good at kicking as well. I don't think he's an improvement on Vicario for me.
And he is 33 years of age.
And he's 33. I think I understand United going for him because he's an upgrade on what they had before, because he's just like a competent keeper who's like a good level. But if we were saying we want to replace Vicario, I don't think Martinez is the answer for me.
Yeah, look, I don't disagree. I do think I probably rate him a bit higher than probably what you rate him. But at 33, I think, he's probably past his best. I think he was better probably a couple of years back than he is doing right now. But I would stick with Vicario over Emi Martinez. Next up, we're going to talk about Antoine Semeno, as David Ornstein gave an update regarding Semeno, and he said the sounds coming from around Spurs is that they're ready to do something in January to bolster the squad further. Ornstein also named Tottenham as one of the 3 teams, along with Man City and Liverpool, who seem to be in the frame for Antoine Semeno come around January. We know David Ornstein mentioned the £65 million release clause, which goes even lower in the summer. But I mean, when you're competing with the likes of Liverpool and Man City, who could probably do with Antoine Semeno, it doesn't make for great reading.
I mean, City, they have Doku there. I guess you could always have a bit of competition, but if you're Semeno, you're looking at Doku in the form he's in right now, you're thinking, do I really want to go challenge with him right now? Look, and City have had before lots of options and it works for them. So you could sell it to him, but I think if you're Semeno, I don't know if you for sure you would jump at that chance, albeit it is City. Liverpool, I think there's
Doku's doing very well, right? But he only got his first goal of the season. Like, in terms of goal contributions and actually, proving that you can pull the ball in the back of the net, Semeno surely is ahead of him.
Scoring wise, yes, but Doku's been one of the best wingers in the league as well this season.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
So, I guess, look, if you're Semeno, do you back yourself to be ahead of Doku if they come in? Depends on how many options he has. Clearly, with this release clause, there's going to be a line of clubs looking at him, aren't they? So it's a case of, if I think if Liverpool are coming in for him, if I'm Semeno, I'm jumping at that chance because I think there's a spot for him. They need a winger.
Yeah.
They lost Diaz. They lost obviously lost Jota, unfortunately. They only really have Gakpo and Chiesa. They need another winger. So I think Semeno is a perfect fit, and I think he's a perfect fit for how they play as well.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think I think Liverpool's nailed on, but for us, I think there's a clear spot in the team for him. So I think we can also put our hat in the ring. But as you say, when City and Liverpool are in the frame, I think the most important thing there is the fact that Ornstein's saying the noises are that Tottenham are looking to bolster in January.
Oh, I ain't getting drawn into that one. I've heard that from Ornstein many a time.
You're the one who's been getting drawn into the whole new hierarchy stuff.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not going to actually believe it until I see it. We need to see the proof in the pudding. That's the reality. As much as it's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. We need to see.
You're feeling good.
I'm not feeling good just yet.
No?
So, no, I'm not. I mean, I'm happy that Levy's gone, and I'm happy that there's been massive change at the top. But we need to.
Daigle all aboard everything that's happening.
I mean, look, Daigle is one person, and I'm another person who are 2 different people.
I understand that, but you've been on the same page.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm happy that there's change, but there's no change. There's no real change until we see the proof in the pudding. That's the reality.
I agree with that, but that's not what you've been saying for most of this.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
What have I been saying?
You're saying it's all change. It's all
there
positive.
It is. It is.
But now you're sceptical.
Yeah, I've always been sceptical. I'm happy. Don't get me wrong, because I am happy of the change at the top, and the only way this club could have moved forward is the change at the top. But we won't know it's real change until we see. I said, they've got 2 windows to prove themselves, and they've got to prove themselves.
But it's going to be interesting to see because right now, obviously, we're all thinking, we need this in January, we need that in January. But again, we're 2 months away from 9 games, let's say, away from that. A lot can change in perceptions in terms of what we need between now, because injuries, form, all these kind of stuff. We might think right now, we definitely need a winger. Maybe come January, we're not thinking now that Odegaard, the form he's in, Tell seems to be improving as well. Maybe we're thinking, okay, let's just give these guys the run.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now we're thinking, we need a striker. Maybe with if all 3 strikers we have are fit and starting to fire, maybe we won't think that. But then it's like, okay, well. How do we judge the hierarchy and what we need? I mean, right now we're judging them. We need to get a winger, strike, all this kind of stuff. But maybe come January, we won't feel that way. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of position we're in.
Absolutely. So a lot of football to be played from now until then. The last name that we've got to bring to you is Samu Agahawa of Porto. Team Talk. Obviously, a very reliable publication.
Amaridian or Agahawa? How do you actually say it? Because on his shirt, isn't it Amaridian?
I think Samu's on his shirt.
What's Amaridian then? Is that just another name?
That's another name of his, yeah. But anyway, Team Talk is saying that Tottenham's search for a prolific goalscorer is now focused on Porto's Spain mid-forward Samu Agahawa. The club view him as the ideal profile for Thomas Frank's evolving system. Frank has shown that he can get the best out of strikers with success stories such as Ivan Toney and Ollie Watkins.
I like what I've seen from him. I don't know how it's actually been keeping up to date with how he's been in this season, to be honest. But I know
6 goals this season.
So he's doing pretty well. 6 goals in 10 games?
Yeah.
So he's keeping up his form. He's a regular in the Spain squad. I think he's an absolute unit as well. He's quite young. I think he's definitely one for the future. I think now could be a good time. I don't think January is going to happen again with our striker situation, depending on Solanke and whatnot. But I like him, and I think he is going to get a big move. I don't know if it will be to us, but he will get one.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised that he actually went to Porto when he did, because I thought, he could have done really good. He was at Atletico Madrid beforehand, and Chelsea were in for him, and he had some big names in for him, and he just looks like a really good profile of striker, strong, quick, knows where the back of the net is. So yeah, I would take the punt on him, to be honest. They bought him for about 35 million. So I think probably 60, 65 million might be able to get him, 70 million.
I think the talk of a striker is obviously very appropriate right now. But I do wonder, what's your gut feeling about Moani? Do you think we'll sign him permanently? Because obviously right now it's impossible to say. He's barely played. He's got injuries. But if we sign him permanently, if Solanke stays fit, it'll be interesting to see what our thinking was with the striker. Obviously with Charlton, we all know we at the moment he needs to move on. But if we're thinking Moani's not going to stay as well, we're not sure about him, then we're definitely going to need maybe 2 strikers potentially coming up in the summer.
It all depends on, I think it also, very much depends on Richarlison and Solanke, how they get on. So, yeah, I mean, look, I do think Spurs are going to need at least one come the summer at least. So I think he would be a great viable candidate for us. But look, that is your Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding all the news stories that we have brought to you today. Now, it is time to focus on the North London derby. And we have got an Arsenal fan to come on and speak to us. He goes by the name of Mr. Hugh Wizzy. Let's bring him on.
Suited and booted. Look at him. He's come dressed.
Crazy intro. My sons, how are we doing? Love to your mothers. Yeah, good to see you both, man. The last time I saw you both, you were wanting your manager out. You still hadn't won a trophy for God knows how long. And now look at you. I was. It has. There's so much has happened. Wow, incredible. Your status is been alleviated beyond belief. And, Daniel Levy, wow. I mean, just huge stuff happening all over the place. I'm excited to have a chat with you about what is bound to be an exciting game. It's probably over the last few years, it's been quite one-sided results-wise, but that doesn't take away from the fact that it is what it is. And forever shall remain, I think, the one that both sides really care about the most. So, let's get into it.
Yeah, but
shall remain, he said.
Just pick on how things have changed. Not much has changed for Arsenal, no. Still trophy dodging, still waiting for that trophy. What's going on with Arsenal?
We wait patiently, but we do have belief. And look, I mean, all jokes aside, I've been, this side of the fence and that with the manager. I have fully bought into it, though, because it does appear to be an immovable object that we've created, and a defence that is not only capable of keeping, mostly clean sheets, but looks to be changing the game quite literally in terms of how managers across Europe especially approach, creating opportunities. And I know that there's a lot of banter to be had about set piece FC, but essentially we've become extremely dangerous, and it looks like he has something data-wise that a lot of other people are buying into. So, it is what it is, and am basically adamant that we have to win something this season. I will say that. There has been an incredible amount of money invested, and we have an incredibly thick, deep, dense squad of top talent that really has to win something. But at the same time, the journey has been a sort of an upward trajectory, although we're just teetering on the edge of the upwards side of that and looking to just get over the line. So everything looks to be going swimmingly. Look, we have a lead, which means that, the draw, first points that we've dropped in, I don't know, a lot of games. I don't even know. I've lost count. Over
Since
10.
the Liverpool game, isn't it?
I think it might be. It's an unbelievable run, really, which has allowed us to go to Sunderland, which is a difficult place to go to. We've seen that so far in the league this season. But most people would still have expected us to come away with the 3 points. That has put us in a great position. And you have seen that, look, it's incredibly competitive. A lot of the other top sides are going through massive changes. I think Tottenham are one of those, actually. It's more than just having a new manager. It's integration of a whole bunch of new players, a whole bunch of injuries all over again. And that is happening for Arteta as well, I guess, because, whilst we have like 8 centre-backs who are all international starters, going forward, actually, it's slim pickings.
Yeah. And as you said, you've got such an unbelievable squad, like depth-wise, and probably the best you've ever had, you'd say, definitely in recent seasons, but arguably ever in the Premier League in terms of the amount of depth and quality you have, right? If you don't win the league this season, if it doesn't happen this season, is it then clear that Arteta is the problem in terms of you getting over that line? And because for me, I think, in terms of depth, you probably have a stronger squad than City and Liverpool this season.
I'd agree.
Not necessarily quality in the first 11, but depth-wise, I don't you can get any injury and it doesn't seem to really hurt you that much at the moment. So if it doesn't happen, surely it's undeniable that Arteta is the issue.
I mean, I actually think it has hurt us. It's just the way that he's dealt with it. I think that, yes, he is amassed. I have to say, initially I was questioning it. It looked ridiculous. We're buying basketball players, the size of these dons. They're all centre-backs. We've got 8 centre-backs on the pitch at one specific moment, or any given moment. I did question the idea behind this, but it looks like what he's done is what title-winning managers do. They build their foundations from the back, and they make themselves incredibly difficult to beat first, and then they add the cherries on top of the cake. The seasoning is the depth that the likes of Madueke, and adding Zubimendi's and Declan Rice's and Eze's do, but actually the core of the way that we're approaching it has enabled us, with the attacking injuries or the top players that we've had out, to keep it going. And I think that is one of the reasons that we've leaned into this style a little bit more than a lot of people would have liked. It's fine while results are going well anyway, but the moment that they stop, it is going to become an issue, because it's turned the game into a situational sort of entertainment experience where you don't really need to be watching unless there is a throw-in corner or a free kick, which it is what it is. But I'm seeing this. I watch a lot of football, and it is happening across the country and now Europe.
So Arsenal are leading the way and ruining the sport. Is that what you're saying?
Well, you can look at it like that, yes. The fact is that for a long time, the game has not been as data-driven as, say, the American sports like NBA and NFL, where everything is tracked, and you cannot get away with walking for too long, or the way that you approach the game is basically. Data dons hone in on exactly where you can get advantages, and they lean into that. And what we found is that we've got, obviously, Gabriel being out, I should stress, is going to be massive, because he is a key part of this. I think his danger from set pieces is it amounts to, over the course of 2 seasons, actual top 4 clubs himself. So
that's mental.
It is crazy. It is crazy. But again, it's if you as a manager realised that you could gain a 2% advantage, like blackjack in the house. If you realise how difficult it is to actually win over the long run. If you can gain any advantage whatsoever, you do lean into that. Start counting the cards. But here, what we've got is there's like a 10 to 15% advantage, and why would you not lean into that? Ultimately, football has become incredibly competitive. You have a slight difference in technical quality across the board, and the way to really get ahead has no longer become allow players to free-flowingly express themselves. It's actually become let's control the situation as much as possible. Let's stop people playing football as long as possible, actually, and limit it to things like a throw-in, where specifically you can completely avoid any players who have technical ability and deem £1 billion squad totally meaningless and worthless, really, because the ball's flying through the air, no one can do anything until it bounces, and then you capitalise on the chaos that your dual winners, who Arteta's been so mocked for bringing in, make things happen from. And that means that you see teams like Lincoln City are doing this very well right now. Teams who, they don't really want to play football. They just want to move into your final third and take advantage of one of these situations. So chaos out of order is the new motto of the club. And although he's going to be sort of, hated for it, it is working, and it is difficult to argue against it while it is.
Yeah, I mean, is there a fear that nothing much has changed at us? I know you got all these signings, you got an amazing squad, best squad in the league, in my opinion, but, you've had these runs of form over the last couple of years, even maybe not last season, but the year before that, you've seen Arsenal go on big runs and looking like they're going to win a title before. But when it comes to those pivotal games, and last weekend or 2 weekends ago before the international break could have been seen as one, because Man City were playing Liverpool, and you have the opportunity to really stretch that gap at the top of the league. And in that game, again, you've dropped points in a pivotal game. Do you feel like maybe things haven't changed so much?
I mean, that is incredibly reactionary, but...
Not really, because in games before, like in games in previous seasons, when you've had the opportunity to spread that gap and to get a really big gap in the league, and when other teams have dropped points, you have failed in those aspects as well.
Look,
in previous years.
I do hear what you're saying. Especially that, historically, games which seem winnable on paper have been Arsenal's undoing, for sure. Is that a worry that is happening again? Probably not right now, although there will be plenty of people who are panicking. I can sense panic. People expect this to be an invincible run, 3 points every week, waltz to the title. That's not going to happen. The Premier League is way too competitive. Literally any club can beat anyone on their day, and Arsenal lose 2 games and we are truly back in the mix for the battle for top 4. That's the reality of the situation. But I feel like the confidence is coming from a place where Arsenal appear to be the most likely to win the league right now. That's my thinking. But we're bound to lose games. I'm watching Liverpool go on 5-6 game losing streaks. I still believe that they're not gone yet, and that you only have to have half of that happen to you, and you're back in the conversation with both of them. So,
and Pep Guardiola today saying he feels like the season starts this weekend. That's what he said.
I mean, City they're clearly right now the main threat, and to be honest with you, Haaland appears to be carrying the club. I mean, the guy is going. I mean, he's actually underrated. What he's doing is quite literally unbelievable. There's no higher level for him to go. Champions League is every game. Premier League is literally every game. For the country, it's 2 or 3 times a game. He carried the club to the World Cup, and I watched him play against Italy, and I'm thinking they really don't know what they're doing because they're winding him up. And as soon as you wind him up, it's like you press the button and it's like the Hulk. Do you know what I mean? Transforms into this, he's undeniable right now, inevitable. And that is my main worry, because I can just see that he is, in the form of his life. And it looks like Doku's coming alive as well at the right time. Maybe they actually they look like they have more defensive structure than they have for a minute. So, yeah, that is a worry, especially because the main worry with that is that they've done it before and so many times. Pep, understanding what it takes, and it is something that I think we're still trying to translate to Arsenal players. Even though we have such top quality amongst the ranks, it's one thing to have done it and know how to do it again.
And you kind of get the feeling as well, come like March, April, if you are neck and neck with City, right, if it comes to that point and you're like, really going blow for blow, would psychology not come into it? With the psychology of like City have been there and done it, and they'll start playing mind games on you. They know that there was that one season you were 8 points clear or whatever it was, and they caught you up, and there was that, they've done that to Arsenal a few times now. Like, surely you have to think you have to build a lead ahead of them going into that period if you're going to be confident of getting that title.
Well, the reality is Man City have got a team and a manager full of winners, and there's not many trophies. You've got like one Conference League from Declan Rice to stretch through your whole 11.
I hear you. We are right now, mostly nearly men. We are guys who have, they've got to semi-finals, finals, but not ever actually got there. That is the truth. And that is something that it's the biggest hurdle for us to get over. That is one of the reasons I reckon that the club have been so willing to invest heavily in the manager, because they feel like a little bit more would be able to get us over. I have to say that I know we've done what we've done so far to get to the top of the table and create a little bit of a lead, but I actually don't think we've seen the best of Arsenal at all. I don't think Gyökeres has played to his best at all. I don't think Eze has really hit the ground as running as people, or free-flowing creative as people thought. Saka is still
he made the wrong choice, that's why.
I think Saka is beginning to become the main man again, but in terms of like goal contributions and how he's carrying the club, as it were, I think there's still a lot more to come. And, we have players who really haven't even found their way into the team, like Nkapie, who is starting every game for his country and very good. So with players coming back, like Jesus and Havertz, it should give options that Odegaard, these are big names that start for most clubs. I'm excited to see the type of football that we're able to play when they all are back, because, like I said before, I really do feel like we've been forced to play this way a little bit, no matter how much we've leaned into it.
Do you mean forced to play this way? Why?
Yeah.
Because
come on.
I mean, look, lack of options up top, a lack of, Odegaard is a huge miss. He really is, again, he's one of the most underrated players in world football right now for me. He's an ultimate controller. He has the precision of passing that is so necessary for you to be able to control a game for long.
He's also been off form for quite some time, Odegaard.
I wouldn't go as far as to say off form. He's been distracted, for sure. He's had a baby. Life has happened. He has also, again, been one of the most creative players in Europe on the international stage for Norway. And it's not to say that the style of play that we're playing at Arsenal isn't slightly detracting from what we could see. He's definitely someone, for example, that Pep Guardiola would snap up and he would be starting every game for City, if only for the combination with Haaland, which is just frightening prospect that I hope never happens in the Premier League. Again, really, really underrated. And I think people are actually starting to warm to the idea that, Eze, whilst being a guy who can open up a game, is a very different player. And it is quite necessary for Odegaard, once he is back from injury, to start again.
Yeah, we're going to this derby. Obviously, we go into it having broken our trophy drought last in May. That narrative now, in terms of trophy dodgers, perennial bottlers, all that kind of stuff, has that moved over to
The narrative
Arsenal?
has flipped, people. The narrative has flipped.
Judging by Arsenal fans' very own standards of how they were, talking about Tottenham and stuff like that, do you accept the title?
That's me. That's me. I don't know about other people. I don't watch other people, listen to other people.
Are you now the perennial bottlers? Are you now the trophy dodgers? Is that the narrative? Is that the titles you hold until you end that crowd?
it's an interesting one, man. I'm a big Arsene Wenger fan. One of my favourite, men in football, icons of the game. And for a long time, I was sort of battling people in these debates and arguments about how good Arsenal really were, and losing in these battles with crowds of people, because ultimately, when the European conversation came alive, it was difficult to hold an argument, hold a torch to what other clubs had done. And unfortunately, it's basically pretty much still the same as far as the European stage goes. Tottenham have just reaffirmed their status with I believe a third. Is it a third?
A third Europa League, yeah.
Right.
And a couple of cups, so 1-4 total.
For me,
we don't mention the Cup Winners' Cup. It's not a real trophy.
Stop that.
Doesn't count.
I was going to say, for me, that is one of the best competitions ever, and I wish it was a thing where actual cup winners were forced to play only cup winners in a knockout tournament. I just think that's so entertaining. And look, it's something that we hold on to as an Arsenal fan, because it was a great night, and we have had other nights where we've come close and not got there. So, as far as the European front goes,
say he really misses the Interfairs Cup as well.
Not been funny, but there's plenty. I used to enjoy the Intertoto, so I don't know why that would be a thing. As far as the European stage goes, I think there's no denying Tottenham have achieved more. But the facts are that I think Tottenham have only, in my lifetime anyway, or at least in living memory, I guess in Champions League era, they've only been in the Champions League like 4 times, European Cup 4 times. So 7, okay. Well, Arsenal is just consistently there thanks to Wenger, and it's, as much as we haven't won it, it's one of the reasons, and I started off by talking about Wenger because I sort of watch football for more than trophies, and I do understand the need, and don't get me wrong, I'm not like evading Arteta winning something this year. I'm actually saying that, like, I watch this for entertainment, I watch it for art, I watch it because it's what I grew up with, I watch it because I love the actual game. It's more than winning. I'm here to be entertained, and it's ironic now because everything has flipped on its head. I've had to get fully behind a manager who is essentially telling me I am statistically based, I don't give a damn about art, and I will be winning a trophy whether or not you enjoy this. And that has been something to adjust to.
But you haven't won the trophy.
I know, we're close, all right, hold on, we're close.
So you're kind of losing on both fronts, you're not getting the art or the trophies at the moment.
That's why I say I'm adamant I have to win something. We have to win something this year, because I'm willing to do this as long as we win. If we're not winning, this is actually a horrible experience. That is the truth. It's very effective. It really does clearly grind people's gears, that's for sure. But, we're not getting what we could. And I think we're capable of playing a brand of football that actually sets the world alight. This squad is, super talented. We spent an incredible amount of money, and we should be expecting, to see more of the time, because I do think it is quite blind to say that it is just set pieces. But yeah, look, the trophy thing, it is essential now for Arteta. It has been a minute, and with the investment, it is just necessary. But as far as like Tottenham not being perennial bottlers, mate, look, literally never seen your club win a league title in your lifetime, and that must be difficult. Okay, my mum was born in 1960. She ain't seen one, and I think it was 61 is the last time, right? So, no one really I guess there are people on the internet now who are older, but like, no one listening or watching has actually seen it happen. And until that day, I don't want to hear about trophies, right? I don't want to hear about, cup competitions where you're playing against Ruben Amorim's Manchester United, and for God's sake, you had to win, really. I am still in the camp of, I do believe actually Tottenham are a very underrated side, but I find it very difficult to rate them too highly. That's the truth. Look at the play. Let's talk about now, right? All banter aside, you have players in the squad who it simply aren't good enough, and a lot of money has already been invested in a new manager. I don't know how you feel about them, but like reeling off names that come off the top of my head, Richarlison, it's breathtaking to me how he's actually playing up front for you. Like how he's getting in the Brazilian team, baffling. I don't know how you're having any faith when you see him in a starting lineup. The same with the kid you got from Bayern Munich, Tell. I mean, I watched him play for France the other day. I feel sorry for him. It was actually a bit of pity. Like nothing is going right for this kid. And again, I don't know how you got any faith in things actually turning around with a player like that. Xavi Simons, incredible amount of money, a lot of faith, star potential, clearly talented. But what is happening? It's not working. He's not got it yet, whether it's the pace of the game. I don't know. How do you feel about this? Because I can do across the board. I feel like Tottenham's most promising player, most promising signing or new addition is a kid the guy you've spent barely any money on.
Paulinho.
Game-changing player. Who's his agent? What's he doing?
I think a lot of those assessments are a bit unfair, particularly Xavi Simons. First of all, he's just joined a new league, and I feel like the tactics actually are hampering him a little bit more than his actual quality and his adjustment to the league. You see him doing a lot of the right things, finding a lot of pockets of space. There's just no one around him. He needs players around him, and he needs to work with other players for him to work. I think he's doing more or less the right things right now with Xavi Simons. Like, I wouldn't put too much down on him right now. We need to see it over the whole course of the season, but he hasn't even played that much, Xavi Simons. We need to give him a bit more time than that. That's a bit unfair.
Yeah, look, I've been watching this kid, man, on Instagram since he was, yay high and was at Barcelona. Look, he's been billed as an incredible talent. He looked so promising. Bundesliga, I think he's really started to shine, but even at PSG was showing promise. I've got nothing but, want the kid to do well. Don't really care that he's a Tottenham player. It's just an exciting talent. Again, entertaining artwork, potential, but it's not working. Whether it's the confidence, everything, every pass is off, every final ball is off. You can see there are ideas there, but it's not working. And, I don't see how Tottenham approach this game other than to sit back. Like, literally just soak up pressure for as long as possible and just hope you can catch us on the break. I don't see how else he approaches the game. And I reckon that in itself is a trap, because you sit back long enough and we have enough people who can capitalise off these duels, and it will be an ugly but comfy win.
Yeah, but we've kind of had a couple of blueprints. We played against PSG in the Super Cup. We played against Man City early in the season. Yeah, we sat back a bit, but we did offer threat, and we were kind of clinical on the counter, and we got 2 set pieces against PSG. Against Man City, we caught them out a couple of times as well. We ended up winning that game. PSG was unlucky. We were 2-0 up, and we ended up giving it up.
Was Solanke playing then?
No, Richarlison played both games.
Okay. I mean, broken clocks. I don't know. I'm personally of the opinion that your best forward is Solanke, that Richarlison is actually making a mockery of wearing the shirt. And,
he's been better than Gyökeres this season.
Richarlison?
He's got more goals in the Premier League.
See, again, what you're doing, right, I get it. It's a straw man argument, though, because, again, I get it. People want goals from their strikers. Fantastic. But what you've done with that, it's blindsided me. You're hoodwinking people, because actually one is offering himself up. He's crucifying himself. He's working until he's bleeding on the pitch, dying for other players to have space. The other, I mean...
You're saying Rishi doesn't work hard?
I'm saying he is... he's extremely temperamental, way too emotional, head hot, believable...
Don't worry, we've told him to keep his shirt on if he scores this time.
Quite a character. I'll give him that. I like a character.
He's got double the amount of goal contributions as Saka this season.
Fair play to him. Like a man who's there for the tap-in, I'll give him that. He's looking to score, no doubt about it.
You're saying he's there for the tap-in. What about Gyökeres? Has he scored outside the 6-yard box?
No, Gyökeres. Stop. It's an inferiority complex for me. This Gyökeres obsession. Gyökeres is doing his thing. It's
you're criticising our striker, but I'm just saying on the stats he performs better than Gyökeres.
Yeah,
More
and
shots
all
on
I'm saying
target,
is
more
all I'm
goals,
saying is
better conversion rate, more assists,
don't
more
offer the whole
chances,
picture,
more
right?
take-ons, more fouls won.
Yeah. I'm sure that stats-wise, players like who else do I not think who I think is not performing well? Like Kudus, is he fit?
Yeah.
He's fit. Okay, that's a problem. Well, if he starts, then that's good for you because Brennan Johnson's stats are probably higher than quite a few Arsenal players as well. But again, I wouldn't be excited about the prospect of him starting over a Kudus. And then same with like Odegaard. I mean, I just don't have a lot of faith in your team. That's what it is. And I would tell you if you had quality players. Like I think we're going to do an all-time 11. Like I have got a couple of Tottenham players that just to be fair, I've sort of thrown in the mix. I think they're on the bench, but they could, on their day, if there's an injury or two, you never know.
Frank says if we stop their set pieces, that's half the job done. That's what he said.
It's true, mate. And Gabriel, their biggest set piece threat, won't be playing. I think with your centre-back situation, I think Hincapié and Mosquera are brilliant players. They can come in and do a job defensively, but they're not going to have the same threat, are they, from the offensive set pieces? And you're looking at the majority of Arsenal games this season, that seems to be the way that you've broken the deadlock. Is that not a worry for you coming into this game?
It's not a worry, no. Yeah, it's because Arsenal are leading the way in set pieces, and they're not scoring as many goals from open play as people at the top of the table usually are. But the game is about goals. So again, we really have to get over this fixation on the way that Arsenal are scoring. We are going to be a danger from set pieces, regardless whether Gabriel is there or not. There's still a lot of big, tall men in that 11 who are capable of winning the duel in the danger area, whether that's Calafiori. Whether that is Mosquera.
Apparently he hasn't trained either, Calafiori.
Well, I don't know. I believe that he is potentially available. From what I understand, he is potentially available. There is some holding back that they've done on the international stage, and hopefully he should be ready. However, look, Timber is capable of playing there as well. Started there actually for the Netherlands in their last game. He is incredibly versatile player who I think's again gone quite under the radar as far as Arteta signings go. Almost making that right back spot his own. Entirely got a monopoly on it really against what was Ben White's. But both of them can play centre back, and honestly, I'm not worried about us not performing from set pieces. My worry.
What are you worried about? You got to be worried about something, man.
I think Tottenham are dangerous in the transition. I think I don't see how Thomas Frank has any other option but to put basically every man behind the ball and break. And I know from Van den Ven to Spence, you have attacking outlets from the back. I do worry about the Dons at the top being clinical. I say that, and the way that life works, Richarlison goes and gets a little brace. It's just, I just don't rate the guy. That's what it is, man. I find it very difficult to buy into it.
The majority of Spurs fans share your opinion. Don't worry. you're not in the minority in the Tottenham fan base. I think.
I think on the flip side, to be positive, I think Kudus is a great signing. I don't think, again, that we've seen the best of him. Again, it's...
What about Frank? What about Frank? Do you rate him as a manager?
Yeah, I think I do. But you know what? I feel bad for Ange. I have to say that, he did what you were dying for. And
preaching to the choir here.
Well, I actually feel really bad for the guy. The fact that he was made to go through what happened at Forest as well because of this, not entirely, but indirectly, it's just like his job. We're talking about strikers have to score goals. You're talking about Arteta has to win trophies. Regardless of how you think that the injury situation was or whether they should have been doing better in the league or whatnot, he did what all those managers failed to do. And for that, he's been massively disrespected. So, yes, I'm up for, you know, you go again, don't you? Fresh, new pastures and all that. It's just, you know, I feel Wenger is still to this day massively disrespected. People have forgotten the foundations, and the reason that we're able to go splashing cash is because he laid those foundations and built a new stadium in the heart of London. It's easy to move on, you know, if you were initially behind the change. But I think in hindsight, actually, you'll look back at that as one of the fondest memories of your life. So it's, yeah, I just feel a bit bad for the guy, basically. But Frank, yeah, look, he's quite lively. He's clearly quite methodical. And again, I think they're quite highly data-driven. So, you know, I actually think Spurs recently have tried to copy Arsenal's set-piece routines. They're certainly mirroring something that appears to be trying to take advantage of similar things. And that means that he's a smart man, because, you know, you should be, in life, I think, finding a role model who's done it or is doing it well and trying to emulate. So Thomas Frank has found a role model in Arteta, and he's
talk about role models. I think Arteta's found a role model in Poch and being just the nearly man in the Premier League. I think that's the role model.
Okay under him so far. Look, it's, 18 points, right?
18 points, yeah.
That is acceptable for your first 5 minutes in the game, in the job.
What's your score prediction, Hugh?
I will say 2-1. 2-1. I think maybe we do actually concede. I think the funniest thing would be for Arsenal to concede from a set piece first. But I actually can't see Tottenham winning this game. I think you lack creativity so badly, and you don't have anyone up top, in the forward positions, barring Yakudis, who I'm worried about.
Marnie's available, even though he has to wear a mask.
Yeah, I mean, that fills me with even more faith, if I'm honest. It's unfortunate for that guy as well, because, well, it's not unfortunate. He's a multi-million-pound, millionaire football player, plays for the Prem team and his country. He's not unlucky or anything, but it is unfortunate that he was, or is, forever going to be synonymous with the moment that won Argentina the World Cup. And, there are men playing in the Premier League who have him tattooed on their bodies. They have that moment tattooed on them. And for me, that is something that he is incredibly strong to have got over psychologically. To be able to face tomorrow when that is your yesterday, and what could have been for your country and just you as a career, for what you could have done. I do admire him in that sense, but I don't have any faith.
Arsenal have similar players.
I don't have any faith in him at all. Again, I don't. How many goals has he got? What has he done?
We don't talk about how many goals he's got. Don't worry about that.
Again, what has he done?
Now goals are important. Now goals are important. Is that what you're saying?
It's not the goals. The goals are part of it. But it's like,
okay.
Goals has he got? What has he contributed to the game? What's his work rate like?
He works so hard. All the intangibles off the ball. Basically, all the stuff Gyökeres does well, he does well.
Okay.
Yeah, he does all that stuff.
What a great presser. He's going to press the living shit out of you.
Oh, I love it. No, I hear you. I'm not saying that either, if I'm honest, but, I'm here to be proven wrong. We all are, so we shall see. But Kolo Muani, Richarlison, Odubert,
I love it. Keep doubting them, Hugh. Keep doubting them, Hugh, because the game is just around the corner, mate. We'll see what happens on Sunday.
It is. I think James Maddison's massive. That's a massive one.
Yeah.
You've not really been able to control games. You're not able to come up. He's very direct.
It's him and Kulusevski together, because both of them were so important to him.
Yeah, big misses. Look, Tottenham have been plagued with injuries for a long time, and Arsenal are right now. There's no denying. Like, there's a whole list of top talent. Both sides have got players who start for a lot of Prem teams, if not most. So it's what you can make of what you've got as much as anything. And for that reason, I think it will actually be quite a scrappy affair. But I think we edge it. Yeah.
It's going to be a dual-winning affair, I think.
And who's better in dual winnings than Paulinho, mate?
Paulinho turn into a scrap. I think
the dual winners. Who are your prime dual winners? Is that what you said?
Paulinho is the best dual winner in Europe, statistically.
He will be one of them, yeah. He's probably one of the most fouled players in Europe as well. He's a very, very clever footballer. I don't know how that has happened for so cheap when so many other deals are so expensive. Makes little to no sense to me. Must have been something that wasn't going right at that club, or like personal issue or something. But I think really shrewd signing. Really shrewd signing.
If you don't win this weekend and City do win against Newcastle, how much doubt does that put in your mind about how favourite you are to win the league?
If we don't win and City do win, is that what you said?
Yeah.
I mean, we're back to like what's like a 2-point lead or something.
I know, but like right now, it's like you're pretty firm favourites. Arsenal fans are pretty confident. Like this is looking like their year. But if that gap gets cut again for the second consecutive week, is all of a sudden is that out the window, that favourite tag?
I mean, no, for me, because all it takes, I know this is a mad thing to say, but all it takes is one injury to one man and Arsenal favourites again. I don't know how much bubble wrap Manchester City have got for this Norwegian, but...
he's a robot, mate. He's an absolute robot.
Yeah. However, look, for a long time I've actually doubted City. However, they appear to have some kind of structure right now. They are much more difficult to beat. They are playing a much more direct game as well. And, they are feeding the beast. They've fully come to the realisation the more you give him the ball, the more he can shoot and the more likely you are to score. I think they do have some underrated players, again, who've not really done what we thought they would or, reached their ceiling. And like we said, Pep is the master of this. He's done this so many times. Again, game-changing manager. It's master against apprentice for me right now. I think Slot's moment is passing him by very swiftly. And as far as other teams that should be in the conversation, I actually think Chelsea have no excuse but to be in a title race. Absolutely no excuse. I think they're getting away with it.
Isn't it a bit rich to say Slot's moment passing him by when Arteta's gone 5 years without a trophy?
No, as in I'm talking about, I live in the present moment. Yesterday is completely out of our control. Tomorrow doesn't exist. The now is the only thing that I can deal with. So right now, sure, their moment is passing them by. They are week upon week reversing all of the goodwill, all of the good credit, and points win prizes, and they're dropping them on a daily basis. So it is... it's becoming out of their grasp or out of their reach.
You could have said that enough times last season about Arsenal, though. They went through spells of dropping points.
For sure. And we've said it's going to happen. The league is incredibly competitive. But do they look the most likely to win the league right now? Absolutely not. They've just spent 125 or 100 and whatnot million on a striker who can't get a game. The midfielder that they brought in is doing better in all forms of other competitive football than the Premier League. The team as a whole... look shaky at the back. They're very, very gettable. Every single game this season, we've seen that. We have the data on Liverpool right now, and they are a team which are being tinkered with. I think he's realised that what he's trusted first time round needs to be put back in, and he can make small changes. They are not the main threat right now. I think it's delusional to think that Liverpool are the main threat. Manchester City...
Yeah, I agree.
All right, look, Hugh, let's do this all-time combined 11. Spurs v Arsenal, Premier League. Let's do all-time in the Premier League. We'll go 4-3-3. In goal, obviously, we're going to put forward Hugo Lloris. Who are you putting forward?
Have you got any keepers who have won a World Cup? Oh, you do? Well,
wait. Are we talking about
Emi Martinez.
Are we talking about their international accomplishments, or are we talking about
just,
the Premier
as a
League?
player, as how they've done as a player in their career.
Oh, okay, right, okay. Yeah, I think do you know what? Right, the thoughts that you told me we were going to do an 11, so I've had a little think about it, right? But my 11 was actually not just for Premier League era. That was how I was going to bring your guys in.
Okay.
Unfortunately, if we're doing Premier League era, there's going to be. I'll give you two players.
I did. I got in 5.
Let's see, mate. Who's your goalkeeper?
He's an Arsenal man, obviously. I'm choosing here. I would say across the board, on more than trophies and stats, and I'm giving you my favourites. Okay? These are players who I believe they're what I would consider to be True Ballers FC squadron leaders. True Ballers FC is an elite unit of truly world-class, entertaining, iconic dons. And there are 2 Tottenham players in that list.
Are we getting the goalkeeper?
Sorry. I'll choose Jens Lehmann for my goalkeeper. I could have gone Seaman, but I've seen him get lobbed by from the halfway line and all that. So I'm just...
Jens Lehmann, isn't he the man that bottled a Champions League final?
No.
Sent off.
No, that's called UEFA Lona. Yeah, UEFA Lona. One of the worst refereeing decisions ever. Change the game. Yeah. Why are we going back to these horrific moments? I choose Lehmann.
I thought they were quite beautiful moments for me to be.
Lehmann's the only keeper who I know who's known for diving in terms of simulation.
Yeah, I've never seen that from another goalkeeper.
An entertaining goalkeeper like no other. I once saw him actually urinate in a bottle. Game was going on. He's a character. I like a character. He's also happens to be an invincible and one of the most underrated Arsenal legends out there. I think goalkeepers actually go largely unspoken for, but
can we have a keeper in our 11 who should be done for public indecency?
Definitely not.
Yeah, an entertaining character and my favourite of our era, basically.
Is he better than Lloris?
Yeah, I would say so. He's more commanding and more vocal.
He's definitely more commanding and vocal. I'll give him that. Was he a better goalkeeper? Definitely not better reflexes.
Captain. And also leader. He was a leader, Lloris. Captain of the team.
Club and country.
Longevity.
Yeah, I don't think
World Cup winning captain.
I don't think Lehmann hung around long enough to sort of stink the place out. That's one thing.
Yeah.
And that sort of detracts slightly from Ugo's claims to this spot. But yeah, I mean, put it to the people. What do they think?
Lehmann or Lloris? Whatever.
I'll probably look, I think it is Lehmann, to be fair, but
Okay.
We'll sneak some others in there. Don't you worry about that. We'll give you Lehmann in goal. Right. Let's go right back.
I think we got this one.
I think we definitely got this one. Who are you putting forward as right back?
Oh, you go first. Who's definitely got this one?
Kyle Walker.
One of the best right backs in Premier League history.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
In fact, in most people's all-time Premier League lineup, he's the right back.
Yeah, 100%. Kyle Walker is better than anyone that you can put forward.
Yeah. Well, I said I'd give you 2 players. Kyle could be one of them. Kyle can be one of your players. I think his record basically is exemplary. However, didn't really come alive until he left Tottenham, to be fair.
Nah, well, he got that move off Man City because of what he did for Tottenham.
He was starting for England when he was.
I think he's actually one of the players that Pep Guardiola could say completely transformed their fortunes and improved beyond.
I don't think Walker's been a different player to what he was at Tottenham.
Really?
He's just been in a better team.
Right.
Agreed.
He was very good at Tottenham. Very good.
Okay. No. Yeah. Look. Maybe your Kyle Walker can have it. I mean,
who'd you say it? Lauren. Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people would say Lauren. Yeah, I can understand. Look, and I do want to be fair. I'm going to give you 2 players.
No, wait. It's not being fair. It's just like it's obvious Walker's better than Lauren. It's not like, is that a debate? You wouldn't.
Physicality.
Are you saying Lauren? Wait. Are you saying Lauren would be a shout for being one of the best right backs in Premier League history? Is that what you're saying?
Do you know what? It's one of the weakest spots, right, for Arsenal legacy. I think actually, it's quite.
Why is this so hard for you just to give it to Walker? Why are you?
Well, no, it's not that. It's not that. I haven't not given it to Walker. I'm just discussing the matter, right?
Okay, go on.
I just think it's quite possible that if he wins one Premier League trophy, Jurrien Timber will be put up there with Arsenal's greatest right backs ever, and that to go and find someone who's sort of on that level, I actually think you need to go back to like Pat Rice. Pat Rice has got like double winner, 500 odd games. And if we're talking about what else they've done, he then goes on to be another double winner, and he's instrumental in what Arsene Wenger's building. So
who's like the second best in Arsenal in the Premier League for Arsenal? Was it like Hector Bellerin? Is that how he is? Bakary Sagna, yeah.
No, it would be Sagna, yeah. It would be Sagna.
Wow.
But I actually would say that you can have Walker, but what I am going to have to do is I'm going to have to subtract one of my original two choices, because only two get in, right? It was difficult enough, but you just made it easier, okay?
So in your mind, before you came on, you had Lauren at right back?
No. I didn't actually think about this like that. I'm going off, I'm freestyling. But I've got two Tottenham players who I think it's essential if they're Premier League era. Do you know what? If it wasn't Premier League era, I would have put three Tottenham players in the team.
Okay.
Because I think Greaves has to be in there. He has to be in there.
Maybe we should extend it.
What about Hoddle? You're not going to Glenn Hoddle?
We're obviously no. Well, I mean, in our lifetime, absolutely not. And potentially he's bench. He's bench.
Gazza's bench.
No, Hoddle is bench. My two originals would have been Paul Gascoigne and Gareth Bale. Those would have been my two.
And Jimmy Greaves, you're saying?
Well, Greaves, if we're doing, non-Premier League era, yeah.
Well, Gazza wasn't for Spurs in the Premier League.
Well, in my lifetime, I'm calling that Premier League.
Okay. All right, let's move on to the centre-backs. And you're not allowed to mention one name, that's for sure. But
right. I mean, he gets in, doesn't he, really?
Nah, no chance.
I'll start with, I mean, there's no... In my lifetime...
Just for his recent delusional take, he said he's faster than Van der Ven.
This guy is like the most deluded man in football, seriously.
Sol Campbell is arguably very close at least to Van der Ven. He's one of the fastest centre-backs we've ever seen.
Has he ever done what Van der Ven did against Copenhagen? I've never seen him do that.
Or against Manchester
I'll give him
United.
that is what, I think that's one of the best goals a defender has ever scored.
Yeah.
Freakish goal. He is actually... He's capable of doing that as well. I know that because he's done it, but he's clearly capable of these crazy runs, banging it from distance, dangerous from set pieces. He's great. It's just silly to compare him to like Sol. But before I go to the other side, I'll start. Big Tony Adams is my number one choice. I still take him over the current day who are being elevated to their level without actually having achieved anything really. So until they do, they're not in the conversation entirely for me, despite the fact that they look to be maybe best centre-back partnership in world football right now. Tony Adams all day long, for what he achieved, for who he is, for how long he stayed, for everything he stood for the way that he did it. He just embodied everything that I sort of expect from an Arsenal player. So that's my first choice. I don't know how else but to do this, guys, as well. But it's one of the greatest signings in Premier League history. It's one of the most iconic moments, bringing him out. Surprise press conference. It's, seismic in what it meant for the power shift and the real dominance that was about to ensue. Sol Campbell has to be in there for what he represents. For the rivalry.
Represents no loyalty in the game. What he represents.
There is no loyalty in the game.
There is none. Football he represents.
Literally the worst of the worst, that man. No morals No morals whatsoever. Seriously, he is the most disgusting Judas I've ever come across. Ledley
He's
King,
the biggest Judas in football history.
by far.
I think.
By
I
far.
don't think you can ever really
Oh,
get worse than that.
Yeah, you know, I would say Figo is up there as well, but it's definitely one of the most controversial moves ever, for
Figo
sure.
wasn't the captain of Barcelona and he didn't walk out on his contract to leave on a free.
After saying he's going to stay.
Oh, look, I feel your pain. However, it's one of the most entertaining moments in the show that is this game. You know, it beggars belief that they had the audacity to do it. The fact that he lied barefaced to everybody as well, with the smirk on his face, and then went on to achieve what he did with Arsenal. It's powerful stuff, man. And I get the hatred. I really do understand it. It's it's something that must have been really difficult to sort of hold yourself.
Let's forget about him for a second. What I'm putting forward is Ledley King, and it's got to be one of Jan or Toby for the other
Ledley
one.
King, look, incredibly high ceiling, but never got there because of the knees, and as a result, it's just.
But even
silly.
when he was playing at an insanely high level. Thierry Henry said the comments on him that he said, the most hardest defender he's ever had to face. I thought Ledley King, both feet, speed, awareness, defensive capability, he had everything. He literally had everything, Ledley. And if it wasn't for those knees, he would. I genuinely believe he would have been considered as one of England's best ever centre backs.
Aaron Bent, who played with him, said he should have played.
Yeah.
So
That is a hypothetical that I do hear quite a lot.
Do you agree with it?
Not entirely, if I'm honest, because it didn't happen, did it? It's pure delusion. It's hope, and it is. If I'm being honest, it is being charitable to a guy who was clearly extremely talented, like way beyond, in terms of physicality, reading of the game. You're up there, no doubt, with what we saw, but we never really saw the best of him as well. So I actually think. There's no way that you can actually take either of the two centre-back spots. It's not going to happen. Ledley doesn't get in.
Arsenal, I'm just looking, Arsenal statistically have never had a better defensive season than Jan and Toby had.
Well, there you go. So we're getting Jan and Toby in there.
Well, if we're going by facts, right? If we're going by facts.
And what better partnership as well,
they've
mate?
had the best partnership.
Belgium, Tottenham.
Arsenal have ever done that.
Even in the famous undefeated season.
Statistics would also put, Gabriel and Saliba or the Arsenal defence ahead of, I think, any other defence in Arsenal's history over the last 100 years at least. So,
but not Jan and Toby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that they get in, man.
Look, let me put it out there straight away. Like, in good conscience, I can never put Judas in this team. He's never, ever going to get in this team. So we got to scrap him.
We got to scrap him. No, look, it hurts me to put any Tottenham player in this team, really, because in my lifetime, how old are you guys?
Too old to mention.
Too old to... Oh, it's like that. Oh, we're hiding it.
No, I'm 36.
Okay. Well, I'm older than you, right? And
how much older? How much older are we talking?
A few years.
Oh, is that how we're rolling?
A few years. I look younger than I am. I'll say that. But when I was young, Tottenham were good. They were good. I grew up watching Paul Gascoigne, and I've seen exciting moments where Tottenham looked like they were a thing. The additions of Jurgen Klinsmann, Ginola, Darren Anderson, the hope that he had. Yeah,
we were terrible at that era, though, like the late 90s, mid-90s.
I would actually say that was when you were involved in, deep into cup competitions. You were an entertaining side. You were, and this is before the real sort of, the upward trajectory, really, of Arsenal becoming a super club had fully happened. Tottenham are on the cusp, I think, of being much bigger than they are. The stadium is the key to that. And the fact that you're in, again, the heart of London will always mean, in my opinion, that you're going to be high up on potential top players, want to go to lists. However, the difference between the very top and the people that are trying to battle for top four and whatnot, it's unbelievable. I actually think Arsenal are still in the process of getting there. We're in the conversation. We're being touted as favourites for the Premier League and the Champions League simultaneously by all the bookies, Opta, everybody. But to truly be involved in the conversation with the elites, you have to have a history of winning trophies, the biggest trophies. And as a result, we're just on the cusp ourselves. So these two teams are perfectly placed to be in the conversation, to dominate football. Arsenal are just much closer right now. These are the cold, hard facts. And in the 11s, over the Premier League era, the likes of Henry and all of those who were involved in, double winnings, getting to Champions League finals or invincibles, they have to be talked about. What Pochettino did with Tottenham, again, brings you into the conversation. But until we start winning the elite stuff, I actually don't think, either team really are there yet. Arsenal have got work to do on the stadium to really capitalise, to modernise. Tottenham's it actually embarrasses. It's the one, that's the one thing you've got over us, I believe. I think Arsenal have a superior manager, superior players, superior squad. Superior starting 11, superior squad, superior PR, superior merch.
It's not the only thing, though, is it?
The stadium, it has the potential to put you in the elite status, but you're just not there.
But that's not the only thing we have over
you. 11 can be playing at the top.
What else have you got over us?
Well, we've spoken about it all stream, mate.
The European
pedigree.
Heritage.
3 European trophies to 1. Okay, all right, cool. But then we can do, 14 FA Cups to 8. We can do 13 league titles. How many league titles? You've got 2 league titles and you're talking to us about trophies.
No, you're looking at it wrong, Q. You're looking at it like FA Cup league. It's domestic and it's European. You're winning domestic and we're winning European. That's it. That's how it goes.
Okay, does it not?
Yeah, but you could go and all this. He said we had one thing over you, but it's not one thing because we've got European success over you and the stadium over you. But who's that centre back?
Sol Campbell.
Nah, come on, man. It's not happening. It's not happening. I mean, the guy, nah.
Saliba's much better than Sol Campbell, anyway.
I mean, I don't agree at all. Sorry. I don't agree. Sorry. Tidier on the ball, for sure. Technically a better footballer, yeah. Is he as good in the air? Not a chance. Is he as physical? Not a chance. Is he as fast? Not a chance. Is he as committed? Potentially, but he's just more aesthetically pleasing. He's absolutely not, in any way, shape or form, more productive, more aggressive. Like Sol Campbell's like he's like 1.5 times the size of Saliba alone. Like,
I think we can agree on Tony Adams and Ledley King. Let's just move on.
Ledley, one knee and he's better than Sol.
Exactly, he's better than Ledley. He's better than him with one knee.
I mean, if this was a game where we were ranking things on loyalty points, then for sure.
Loyalty comes into it. All right, left back.
Yeah, let's move on quickly before he can mention anything about him again. Go on, who's your left back?
World class, in his prime, best in the world. Obviously, we're doing what they've achieved elsewhere as well, so it's an easy shout. It's Ashley Cole all day long, and there is no debate. There is no debating.
I don't think there is a debate on this because the best Premier League left back we can put forward is Danny Rose. So Danny Rose against Ashley Cole.
I mean, look, if you were trying to squeeze a player in, and that player for me has to be Gareth Bale, then as long as you don't say he's the left back, we can get him in the team, basically. Because obviously, starting out, it looks like much like Bukayo Saka, actually, that was where he was going to end up playing. But yeah,
we don't need to change Bale's position to get him in.
No, let's put Ashley Cole at left back. But Ashley Cole, you're comfortable putting him in. Ashley Cole, you don't hold anything against him.
I actually think that people have got that story very wrong. Ashley Cole was promised something, and the club broke that promise, and they risked everything for some small measly amount of money, and he had the backbone to be able to stand up for himself and say, how dare you be dishonest with me when I've given you everything. So it's one of the biggest mistakes I think we've made. I think players from the team at that time, including Henry, have spoken out on how he was perfectly happy to sign the deal that they'd offered him, and when he turned up, it was a different conversation, different numbers, and as a result, they lost out on one of the most talented to have ever done it. Yeah, it's actually a massive, massive error that for me, so I've got no problems putting him in.
Okay, so that's the back line. In terms of the midfield, go to the defensive midfielder first.
Wait. Oh, okay, right. Because I'm doing 4-4-2. What are you doing?
We did 4-3-3.
We can do 4-4-2.
We can do 4-4-2 if you want.
4-3-3 makes my life a little bit difficult.
That's what we like to do on North London Derby weekend, mate.
4-3-3, tricky. I'm going to need a 4-4-2 because I need two up top.
4-4-2 helps us.
Does it?
I think so.
All right, if you both want to do 4-4-2, we'll do 4-4-2.
4-4-2, I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. I'm looking at 4.
All right.
No doubts.
All right, 4-4-2.
Another 4.
Let's start off with the two central midfielders.
Okay. One of them we're definitely getting. There's no doubt about it. 100%.
Who, Modric?
Luka Modric. You can't not have Luka Modric in there. I think we can all agree.
Luka Modric.
Ballon d'Or winning central midfielder. Was incredible at Tottenham as well.
Moussa Dembele.
Modric is one of the best midfielders of all time, let alone Premier League.
Which one are you go? Are those your two?
Modric and Dembele would be our two, yeah.
Those would be your two. So you would choose those two midfielders over any that you've seen in your lifetime at Arsenal?
I'm saying Modric, definitely.
Changed my mind already.
If I had to choose two from both clubs, I would choose Modric and Vieira. That's what I would choose.
Well, okay, right. Well, let's start with the common ground that we've got there then. Vieira has to be in the team. It's just silly not to. He's arguably the best midfielder the Premier League's ever seen, most complete.
He's decent.
And whilst I think the game has, moved on, there are certain men that would be able to dominate across eras, and he is one of them. Modric, I think you've got a shout. He's clearly one of the best to ever do it. Again, it is one of those players who goes on to achieve their great things elsewhere, which doesn't discount him from being in the conversation. But
I think playing in a double pivot with Tom Huddleston for his career. He had to cover all that ground. He had so many.
Don't disgrace Tom Huddleston, mate. Tom Huddleston was brilliant.
He couldn't run. Modric had to dominate midfield next to someone like Huddleston.
In his defence, Tom Huddleston is one of the cleanest strikers of a football I've ever seen.
100%.
100%. Not every footballer can kick a football properly. I'll tell you that.
No, I agree with that. He had a great strike on him.
What technique that man had.
Modric had to dominate midfields when Huddleston was like barely moving. He was just standing there. Like he was incredible. There's a reason why Madrid came in for him while he was at Tottenham, because he was a world-class talent at Tottenham as well.
Who are you putting ahead? Who are you arguing ahead of Modric?
I mean, I think Cesc Fabregas has to be in the conversation at least. If we're talking about what they've achieved, apart from what they did at the clubs that we are entertaining, it's without question, he's one of the most successful footballers of all time. Just being involved in that Spanish setup, which, has dominated across Europe and the world, never mind
Modric
La
got to
Liga.
a World Cup final with Croatia.
Yeah, but again, if you're talking about nearly men, you got to get over the line, buddy. It's all about.
Okay, how many Champions Leagues he got? 6.
Yeah, he is a Real Madrid man, isn't he? He's an icon of Real Madrid, really, not Tottenham.
Okay, Fabregas. How many trophies did Fabregas win for Arsenal?
So, like, whilst I'm putting Gareth Bale into my conversational 11, that is strictly on what he's achieved with Real Madrid. It is the success that comes with being a Madridista. They are, a different entity when it comes to winning. So, it's very easy to just, we could start talking about a whole bunch of
you're saying
but
Fabregas should go ahead of Modric because he won more, but he didn't win more at Arsenal. And Modric didn't win much at Tottenham, but Modric was incredible.
He did set the light. He did set the league alight as a teenage sensation. Who grew to a man in front of our eyes whilst doing it all, and really took the mantle from Patrick Vieira.
Modric came from Zagreb, playing on cut up pitches, was an unknown quantity. Came to Tottenham. We'd never played Champions League football before. He dragged us to top 4. Got 2 top 4 finishes, then we got a big move to Real Madrid and became one of the best midfielders of all time, winning a Ballon d'Or.
And those are fine achievements, but do they outweigh what Cesc has done?
Massively. What do you mean? How is it not?
Being
was Cesc ever in a conversation for a Ballon d'Or?
I mean, probably not, but that's due to the generation of players that he was surrounded by. More than anything, doesn't take away from the unbelievable accolades he has achieved in his career, which include, all the big trophies that a player can win. We're talking about a player who had done it all and came back to the Premier League and scooped it up again. It's someone who is changing the game right now as a manager, who clearly sees the game differently. And I'm not sure that Modric's impact at Tottenham warrants, this conversation being anything but what they've achieved elsewhere. Whereas I think Cesc really, took the mantle from a player who we've said is a shoo-in for one of these positions. So to do that as a teenager, again in the Premier League as an unknown, is in the manner that he did it as well. I just think it's silly not to have him in. The goals that he scored against Tottenham alone, I'd take him for.
I just don't see the argument for Fabregas over Modric being a viable one. I know Fabregas was a brilliant player, don't get me wrong. Unbelievable talent, unbelievable player, won so much in his career. But when you look at both players' career, it's clear that just one is above the other, and that is Luka Modric above Cesc Fabregas for solely what they've done in their career. Surely. Luka Modric is going to go down
based on the trophies. Is that what you're saying?
No, just based on just generally what their whole career trajectory has been. And I think Luka Modric has gone down as one of the best. He's still playing, by the way, at 40 and running midfields in Italy. He is going to go down as probably...
I think that says more about Serie A than anything. Personally.
Yeah, maybe. But, he's going to go down as one of the best midfielders to ever play the game alongside the Javis and Iniestas.
So is Cesc Fabregas.
But not on that level. Not on that level. Not on that level.
Oh, you're clueless.
What do you mean? He's going to go down alongside Iniesta and Xavi, Fabregas, you think?
Sorry?
You think he's going to go down alongside Iniesta and Xavi as one of the best centre mids of all time?
Cesc Fabregas?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. He's one of the most creative midfielders of all time.
So what if he was that good? Why didn't Barca keep him?
He again is one of the very few players who's literally won it all. Why didn't Barcelona keep him?
They were ready to get rid of him. They wanted. He was only there for what? 3 years, 2 years, 3 years, and they wanted rid of him.
Yeah, and they gave him the dream, and the dream was achieved, and then we moved on. I guess they were trying to shoo him in to a team which he didn't really fit in from the beginning.
Because he wasn't as good as the other players. He was good, but he wasn't as good. Unlike Modric, who was a mainstay for Madrid for many years.
I don't think there's any shame in not being in the starting lineup when Xavi, Busquets and Iniesta are the competition. He's also been, a part of them their success during that period whilst playing completely out of position. So
No,
I think that shows
he's a good
that's
player,
to his credit, to be honest.
but Modric was a mainstay in that Madrid team for well over a decade, won multiple Champions Leagues, even got to a World Cup final and a World Cup semi-final with a very small nation in Croatia, who are not known for getting anywhere near that level when it comes to international football. He's not. This isn't Spain, who have won lots of trophies, and they're a very, very big footballing nation where the likes of Madrid and Barcelona play. Like, look at who plays in the Croatian league. Like Dinamo Zagreb are the best team. This is a monumental achievement to get as far in competitions as Modric did at international level as captain as well, and what he did for Real Madrid. Like, this guy is literally a phenomenon. Like, he's one of a kind, someone like Luka Modric. Playing for also a midfielder like his kind of height, playing at central midfield, not like as a kind of 10 or like Fabregas did, like kind of a hybrid. This guy was like a double pivot right in the thick of it, but wasn't out-muscled. Used his like diminutive figure to like kind of beat players incredibly. Never got outshone while playing central midfield. While playing alongside a midfield like Toni Kroos.
It's a much more demanding role physically, I would say, but actually Ces's physicality is quite underrated, but that isn't his main output and not the way that he shined. Like, Modric is not the main creative source for Real Madrid. Like, you're talking about another Arsenal player.
Fabregas wasn't the main for Barca.
I mean, I was talking about him as an Arsenal player. I think.
Okay, for Arsenal he was. To be fair,
if we're doing the type of player he was at Barca, we should be doing the type of player he was at Chelsea as well, and the type of player he was for Spain, which is a creative outlet who, will have made a lot more men careers. There's people at Real Madrid anyway who are sort of. The club would have been more dependent on being the main creative outlets. Modric's a facilitator. It's a lot of tidy work being done. But
that's what you need in a 4-4-2.
True.
Yeah, but in terms of artistic expression, in terms of like free-flowing creativity, in terms of doing the unexpected, I think Fabregas' career speaks for itself in that manner as to who is the superior in that manner. For sure, Modric has his pros. I don't think anything should be taken away from Fabregas because he isn't playing though. That's a complete career, injuries, and also a desire to get into management, which he's already proven to be quite a success in.
Yeah,
I think if you swap their like internationally, I don't think Fabregas could have done for Croatia what Modric did, but I think Modric could have done for Spain what Fabregas did.
I mean. Yeah, you are allowed to believe that. You are allowed to believe that. What I remember of Cesc Fabregas is he was a literal child who was making men look amateur from the day that he stepped onto the pitch for Arsenal. And he took the captain's armband from Vieira and led the club through some pretty crazy times and was part of one of the most attractive styles of football that I've seen in my era. So, look, I don't think he's not my favourite midfielder, Cesc. I would have Ozil above Cesc, but again, that's personal preference. It's another conversation. But, a guy who, if we're talking about who's capable of taking their country to the top or has achieved it on the international stage or was doing things for Real Madrid, making careers out of Cristiano Ronaldo, we have plenty of those. Being the sort of type of manager that Arsene was, we've been blessed to see so many talented midfielders. So I would say if I was choosing a midfielder on technical ability, I would choose Santi Cazorla over any of the players we've mentioned on this podcast so far tonight or this stream tonight. Way above Luka Modric's ability in his little finger. His weak foot was better than Modric's strong foot.
Nah, you're nuts. You're nuts. You're crazy.
I mean, it's just my opinion. He's otherworldly in terms of his ability. Low centre of gravity helps, but he could do it all. Dribbling, first touch, shooting, dead balls. Like, just an understanding of the physics of a football way superior to others. in the same way that Dennis Bergkamp had, it just sets you apart. Don't get me wrong, what Modric has done is he's mastered the simplicity of the modern game. He's essential and integral to keeping things going. You know, the get it and give it type mentality, but that doesn't excite me as much as a Cesc or an Ozil or a Cazorla, so he wouldn't have a chance of getting in mine.
How are we going to settle this? Because we need to move on.
I think the one settle, who has a Ballon d'Or? I think that's how you settle it. I think that's how you settle it.
Yeah, Ballon d'Or, fixed nonsense, isn't it?
Okay.
So we saw Henri robbed. I've just seen Dembele win the Ballon d'Or, and you're expecting me to take it seriously. Dembele, who's winning the Ballon d'Or for what was it? A Champions League.
Yeah.
A Champions League. Right. So a Champions League in which how many times did PSG lose in the Champions League last season?
I think once.
A few.
Yeah. Well,
five
times.
Lost 5 times. So we've given the Ballon d'Or to a player who was part of a team who went on to win a knockout tournament, which they lost 5 times in. Absolute nonsense. The Ballon d'Or winner is, in my eyes, the best player in the world right now is a child. Again, we're talking about a teenager who should have been credited for carrying his country and club to, you know.
So why did Modric not deserve it?
My place in the starting lineup.
No, why didn't he deserve the Ballon d'Or?
Oh no, I'm just saying that it's a flawed way of judging a player's ability.
But you're saying it's flawed, but why didn't he deserve it?
Mate, I can't even remember what year he won it in, so I couldn't actually.
He won the Champions League and got to a World Cup final.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not bad.
there is probably a reason. There is probably a reason.
No
Who was in the
reason.
team?
All right.
Who was in the team at the time that they won that Champions League trophy? Who were the? Who was up top? Was it
Benzema, Ronaldo, yeah.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Bale. No.
Why are these guys not winning it ahead of him? I don't know.
Because he was the most important player, acknowledged by his peers. He was the most important player in the team.
No, I don't believe that.
That's what all the European football experts say.
I believe you're talking about 2017-18.
Yeah.
And for me, the reason that he was included or given that was the World Cup run with Croatia.
That helps.
You know, I do personally hold the opinion that the World Cup should be given, you know, more credits in terms of these arguments. I think it's the most difficult to win, but you have to have the lottery ticket, I guess, of having the passport to be in the right country. So it's tricky, but.
All right, look. Vieira Modric.
Vieira Modric. Left wing.
Sacrilege. I can't believe we've left out the likes of Ozil.
Don't talk about Ozil. Look, we're moving on.
Arsenal. I thought Arsenal fans hated Ozil.
I mean, Ozil, this is what I mean. I'm not an Arsenal fan like that. I'm my own person. Ozil he's just one of my favourite players ever. Creatively, you know, visionary.
So Ozil left wing?
You want Ozil left wing?
I'd take him anywhere. I'd take him on the pitch. Anyone on the pitch. No, I'm not taking him on the left wing. I would have put him in midfield, obviously, but it's difficult. We're playing a 4-4-2.
It's your idea for a 4-4-2.
But Ozil, mate, one day people will look back on Mesut Ozil a similar level or the same way that they do Zidane. You will see.
I'll tell you right now, Hugh, that Eriksen did more in the Premier League than Ozil. He did. Eriksen is so disrespected, man, when talking about 10s in the Premier League.
No. You know, yeah, look, there are a few players who you've had along the way who it's been undeniable their quality. Christian Eriksen is one of those, for sure. Let me just go through some other players. Who else have I sort of thought along the way? I've told you about Ginola, Klinsmann. Anderton was quite good. Gascoigne was unbelievable. Gascoigne is one of the best.
Teddy Sheringham?
Teddy Sheringham, fantastic player, yeah.
What we do? We're just naming good times.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of people who could actually be in the conversation that I haven't mentioned.
Let's think of left wing though.
Yeah, go put who you for left wing.
There's only one guy that gets in the team.
Yeah, I agree. There is only one guy that gets in this team.
There's actually a few players that can get in this team. You've got the likes of David Ginola. You've got the likes of Son Heung-min.
Sonny.
You've got the likes of Gareth Bale.
No, Bale we're using saving for the right.
Okay.
Now, the greatest British export in the history of the game, certainly in my
Who,
lifetime.
Gareth Bale?
Yeah, without question. Yeah,
No, we need him for the right.
I'll take him. I'll take him on the left.
No, and we need him for the right. Left's for someone else.
Son Heung-min.
Sonny.
No, that's not going to work for me. That's
It
all.
works for us, I think. Doesn't it?
Hey,
Well,
look,
let's talk about it combined then. Let's talk about left wing and right wing together, right? Who's your right winger?
Saka, probably.
Is it Saka?
Arsenal's greatest right winger ever.
In the
Premier
Prem.
League, yeah.
I mean, I find it quite difficult to put people in the team that haven't won the league, because
I don't.
I've seen people that have won it, and as a result of them being the best of their moment, it is impossible for them to better that. And I find it very difficult when comparing eras to put, players who haven't done that over them. Otherwise, I would have had, the likes of Gabriel. I actually think Gabriel, for example, is a better defender than Saliba. And as a result, he probably would have got in the conversation. But because he hasn't done it he hasn't done it like others have, it's tricky. So I don't know if I can put Saka in. I actually don't.
So who are you putting in?
You're talking about the right wing. I'm still on the left.
Put a player forward for both. Who's your best left winger and best right winger?
I'm choosing Gareth Bale for left wing. That's who I'm going for.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you were to choose an Arsenal player for the left wing, who would it be?
Probably Henry. I'd take Henry on the left.
On the left.
You don't
Yeah,
want
I
to put
need
him
him
up
on the
front.
No, Bergkamp will be up top. I'd probably say Harry Kane in a 2. And for that reason, I need the left for Henry if I'm doing that. So I'm trying to squeeze Bale in somewhere, and it's probably best on the left.
For me, it'd be if you're going like that, I would say Bell on the right, Sonny on the left with Kane and Henry up top.
Yeah, that's what I would have gone.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Why?
Okay, right.
Really?
Look, there's an asterisk to me doing this, right? You can have a couple players, but I need a couple players in. Right?
You got your fair share.
No, hold on. I'm happy to talk, right? I'm happy to talk and discuss and debate. If we're going to have a conversation where Dennis Bergkamp doesn't get into the Premier League best Arsenal, North London, Tottenham 11, it's a waste of our time, okay? If you don't understand football, or if you're not willing to go back and watch, if you weren't around when he was playing, it's fine. But there's no player that I've ever watched in the league, and I'll include Santi in that, who understands the physics, momentum of a football and the game, and has the efficiency in their technical quality to deliver magical moments over and over again, or just to control the spell over the ball, than Dennis Bergkamp. There's no point in having the conversation if he doesn't get in the team, full stop. Right. I refuse to not have him in. I will delete someone else if necessary, but if he doesn't get in, it doesn't make any sense to me
But we
at all.
can't shoehorn.
So would you put Bergkamp over Henry?
He's okay. I'll put it like this: he's at least on the same level, at the very least, because he's a far superior technical footballer. Far superior. Physicality, we're talking totally different animals, and that makes the conversation different.
But you can't
For
say
iconic
I can't
status
say
and
saying
impact
that
across the
Bergkamp
club.
was better than Harry Kane.
Bergkamp's
Kane
a
has a
much better
touch of
footballer than Harry
Bergkamp.
Kane. Bergkamp's a much better
Kane has a
footballer
touch of
than
the
Harry Kane.
Bergkamps of him.
Sorry?
Plus the 30 goals.
Say that again.
Kane has a touch of Bergkamp about him, plus 30 goals this season.
Kane's, for me, one of the best players in world football.
Exactly.
That does not mean he can hold a torch to Dennis Bergkamp at all. Not in his wildest dreams will he ever be able to.
200 and what? 20 Premier League goals would say he can, I would say.
No, he's an incredible goal scorer, man. Great finisher. Great understanding of the game. He's a
playmaker. And he's a brilliant playmaker.
He can play in the 10. Fantastic.
Did Bergkamp ever get 4 assists in a game? I don't remember that.
I think Bergkamp on technical ability alone, but I think when you take the whole package in terms of goals, assists, everything. Kane surely is better than Bergkamp.
No, but this is not a Kane versus Bergkamp for the lineup spot, bro. That's not a thing. That's not how this works. I told you. The deal is this. Bergkamp gets in, and then everything else we can discuss. If you don't have Bergkamp in the team, it's meaningless to me. Doesn't make sense. I'm telling you that it's my opinion.
But we can't allow Bergkamp.
You can't allow him.
Well, unless you're saying he's above Henry, because we're having Kane.
No, I need to put Henry on the left then. That's what I said. I've never seen a footballer who's got more control over a football than Bergkamp. How can I not put him in my all-time 11? Doesn't make sense, bro.
Well, I guess the only fair way to do it is like the guy says in the comments, unfortunately, which is Henry on the left, Bale on the right, Bergkamp and Kane up front.
But then you're shoehorning Henry into position. He wasn't really a left winger.
He was like a left forward, wasn't he?
He was a striker.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't. No,
he kind of started as a left and drifted in.
Actually started on the left.
He started, but his best football for Arsenal was up front. If you play 4-4-2, if you
ask Henry, if
Sky Sports were doing their graphics for the Arsenal lineup, do they put him on the left or up front in their 4-4-2 formation? If Arsenal got a lineup, and they say,
I don't watch that.
That's where they play. He plays up front. And where did Pires play then? Where did Pires play if Henry's a left winger?
Yeah, that's not exactly what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if I'm going to be able to get Bergkamp in the team, and it means
shoehorning players in positions they weren't playing.
I mean, I feel like I'm doing that with Gareth Bale.
Right, Bale played on the right.
I prefer him on the left.
Cutting into his best season for Tottenham was off the right.
I think he's a more dangerous player off the left.
What? What do you mean? Did you see all the goals he was scoring cutting inside off the right? Are you mad?
No, I mean, again, personal opinion. He was
unstoppable that year. That's why he got a world record transfer fee based off his performances off the right.
Yeah, I just believe that he's more effective off the left in the modern game, especially. But again, like, I've got no qualms about Bale being in the team. I've told you he's one of my 2 selections. But this is all pointless if Bergkamp doesn't get in the team. We have to get rid of someone. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense, bro. There's not been a player who has the technical ability like this since. There's not been one. This is a guy who grew up, right, the same way that I did, kicking a ball against a wall 40,000 times. You got to put in your 40,000 hours before you can talk to us.
Okay, but this is a very high bar.
It is a very high bar. It is a very high bar. It's a very high bar.
And we're not sure.
I think it's not a high bar. Listen, right, we talked a minute ago about Tom Huddleston striking a football. Yeah. We know not all players can kick a football properly. And you're trying to tell me that the bar isn't actually that high. The bar is very high to be able to be a technical.
I'm saying, I feel like we just want to shoehorn Henry on the left just so we can fit in Bergkamp. But I think at the end of the day, the reality is Henry was a striker. Sonny for me is the left winger. Bale's the right winger. I think, and Kane is partners Henry. I don't think that's why it's unfair.
You're trying to shoehorn Son in whatever you can.
Why are you shoehorning Son? He was a left winger. He's won a goal.
I hear you. I hear you. I just we will have to
talk about two-footed.
We will have to agree to disagree.
If we want to just keep players in their natural position, then he's right. If we want to kind of say Henry started on the left, so he can play on the left, we'll put him on the left. But if you want to keep players in their natural position or the positions which they made their name in proper, then Sonny's on the left and Henry and Kane are up front.
I mean, that's not true. It's just not true. Thierry Henry was playing on the left for Monaco when he wasn't true, bro. It wasn't true.
I'm saying for Arsenal where he proper made his name.
But hold on a second. We've been doing careers. You're talking about Ballon d'Ors and Modric and whatnot, Champions Leagues. That's not Tottenham, mate.
Okay.
It's not Tottenham.
That's fine. But we're talking about Henry's best years were Arsenal. And he started off as a winger and he struggled and then Wenger moved him up front.
No, he didn't. He didn't struggle. He was doing quite well at Monaco on the wing.
Forget Monaco. He
Forget
signed
Monaco.
for Arsenal.
What about France?
What about France? He wasn't their striker.
France, he cheated his country all the way to a World Cup, mate. That's what he did for France.
I mean, you're not Irish as well, are you?
No.
Yeah, look, play 3 up top if you need to, mate. Not interested. Bergkamp starts, right?
For me, the question is, does Bergkamp get in ahead of Henry or Kane? That's the question. And I don't think he does.
I guess that is up for debate. Yeah, that is up for debate for you, not for me. I would have Kane in there for sure. I'd have Kane in there, but that's why I was going 4-4-2. I think it's okay for me to concede the right as well if I'm allowed to have Henry on the left. You can have Bale on the right if you want. You seem adamant about that. I need to have Bergkamp in the team. I'm adamant about that one.
I think we're just going to have to agree to disagree.
I think so. I think at this stage, yeah.
Because I think we're just going to go on forever. So,
But how many? If we go with our team, how many Spurs players is that? Walker, Modric.
so the team is Jens Lehmann in goal, Kyle Walker at right back, Ashley Cole at left back, Ledley King and Tony Adams, I think we said at centre back, Modric and Vieira in the midfield, one of Son or Henry on the left, Bale on the right, and Kane and Bergkamp up front.
6 Spurs players.
What did you say to
I
that?
mean, that is not my 11, but that is what you have bullied me into.
But look, I think we'll leave it there, Hugh. But thank you so much for coming on, mate. Thank you
man,
so
a
much.
pleasure. Real fun.
Good.
Good luck. Hope it doesn't work out, but I'll see you on the other side.
Yeah, definitely see you on the other side. Are you going to the game?
I'm not, but I will be doing content for it and after it, so we are involved. Yeah.
All right.
Fingers crossed. This is
Go check out Hugh.
another-
Go check out Hugh Wizzy's channel for the fallout in the North London derby on Sunday. But it was a pleasure having you on, and we'll speak soon, my friend.
Cheers for your
nice
time,
one, man.
mate.
Take care, guys.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, you.
And that was Hugh Wizzy, everyone.
6 Spurs players in the Tottenham all-time combined 11.
I'll take it, mate. I'll take it.
It's
It's
6 players in there.
a bit mad. But let's get involved and let's carry on with the rest of our North London derby content. Starting off with the predicted 11 going into the North London derby on Sunday. Frank has done his team news, injury news. What have we got, Sim?
And it's very positive. There was rumours out Mawani. He back in training wearing a mask. Frank confirmed he's fit and available. Sarr pulled up in international duty for Senegal at the Emirates, no less. He is fit and available. Great news. Bergval recovered from his concussion. He is fit and available. Archie Gray, Kota Takai, Ben Davis, all trained ahead of the derby as well. Radu Dragoshin played 45 minutes in a friendly over the international break. He is very close to being available, but not quite for this weekend. Solanke making positive steps, as he always is, but not available for this weekend. Maddison, Kulusevski and Bissouma also continue to be out. But some really great news on the injury front for Tottenham, and all of a sudden the bench is going to look a lot healthier.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we went into the international break with 13 players injured. We leave it with 5 players injured, so that is definitely a positive step. We need this kind of strength in depth and squad ability moving forward, and no less in the North London derby this weekend. So let's get into our predicted lineup.
So I think the most important question is, what formation are we playing?
Well, yeah, of course, that's a very important question because we've obviously been playing 4-3-3. In the PSG game, we went 3-5-2. I personally want to see that. I think Spurs need to play 3-5-2, and I got a feeling Frank has got a trick up his sleeve, and I think he's going to go for it, I really believe he's going to go for it.
If we say we think he's going to go 3 at the back,
Yeah.
what we have seen is 3-5-2. Is there any chance he goes 3-4-3?
There is a chance, but I think he's going to go 3-5-2.
Yeah. I think, with centre-backs now getting ready, I think he can start to use this 3 at the back. So, I think he's going to do it.
Well, you think 3-5-2 or 3-4-3?
I think 3-5-2. I think 3-5-2 makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. So 3-5-2 in goal is obviously Guillermo Vicario, playing very well. Got a start even for Italy during the international break, so he'll be definitely ready, raring and ready to get into this game.
Great for him to get an international cap under his belt. Do you believe the rumours that Tottenham are looking at a replacement? Just in general,
No.
just in terms of is that a position they eye as a one that needs to be upgraded?
I don't think it's one of the urgent issues, and I don't think Frank sees it as one of the urgent issues. And I think once we fix all the other areas in the squad that we need to fix, maybe they'll look at that. But as of now, no, I don't think it is.
I agree. I think he's part of the leadership group. He's an important player, and I think Frank really rates him. And I think he's had a mixed season so far, but he's in good form.
All right,
Really
so
good form.
100%. So Vicario in goal. Now we look at the back three. In terms of the right-hand side, well, let's start with the left-hand side. We know Mickey van der Ven.
Yeah, he's obviously going to be there. He's obviously such an important player for us. And in this game, yeah, even more so. We know Arsenal got a very physical front line, depending if Gyökeres or whether Gyökeres or Moreno play. But he, I think in this position, the left side, if we are saying back three, just like helping out a doggy with Saka is going to be crucial.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we know the other two centre-backs, just about their positioning. Will it be Romero in the middle, Romero on the right, or Danso in the middle, Danso on the right? I've got a feeling it'll be Danso in the middle and Romero on the right.
I'm trying to remember when we played the
PSG?
Yeah, was it who was on the middle, who's on the right?
Let's have a look. I think it was Danso in the middle.
Yeah, I think you're right. The only thing I would say is, though, is it's not a massive difference, but if Danso is on the right, then it's a lot easier for him. It's a lot easier for the team if he plays on the right, that he can get forward for long throws without being too much out of position. But I guess it's not that much of a difference anyway. With that, I also think if Romero's on the right, he's got more space and better passing angles than being in the centre. I also think Romero's better.
SofaScore says it was Romero in the middle.
Yeah, so he was in the middle of that one. And Danso on the right. I would say, I guess you could say, because keeping Romero and Van der Ven close as well is also quite important. I'm trying to think from a passing wise, what's better for him, being directly down the middle, so maybe he has more options to go left and right.
Yeah, it was definitely Danso on the right, judging by the heat maps.
So then he'll probably, I think
he'll keep it the same. So go Romero in the middle, Danso on the right.
I think it kind of makes sense as well, because it means when he's taking those long throws, if it does go back, he's on the right hand side, so he's not as far to go back in position as he is in the centre. Yeah, potentially.
Okay, so Romero, Danso, and Van der Ven as our back three. Now we move on to the wing backs. So I think the one that is for certain, I think it has to be Destiny Udogie at left wing back. Such a vital player for us.
I agree. And it's so important in terms of stretching Arsenal in this game, getting down that left hand side, getting to the byline. It's going to be a big job. Obviously, Timber and Saka both such hard workers down that side, so he's not going to have it easy. But if we're going to get forward, I think he's the guy you're thinking maybe can actually exploit them.
Yeah, absolutely. He just opens it up for us so much in terms of actually being able to attack down that left-hand side. So I think he's vital to go in. On the right-hand side, I think it's more of a discussion between Pedro Porro and Jed Spence. I would personally like to see Jed Spence play, but I got a feeling he will go with Pedro Porro.
I think if you've got the extra protection of Danso there, I think it makes more sense to play Porro, because you need that set piece guy to take the corners and stuff, and someone who can go long as well directly into Richarlison and Kudus.
Kudus has done a fairly good job at taking the set pieces, though.
But we like in-swingers, don't we? So who's going to take it off the other side?
Yeah, it's true.
I don't know. I mean, unless we're saying Xavi plays, but we're not saying that. Not yet, anyway. So I think you need Porro, and I think you need Porro's passing ability if you're going to play three at the back. And I think you can get away with it more. If we were saying four at the back, I would say it makes more sense to play Spence.
More Spence.
Because he's going to have more ground to cover, and he's going to be a bit more exposed. So you might need Spence there. But I think we're three at the back. I think it makes more
But
sense.
also, like, attacking on the transition, it could work really valuably with Spence because of his speed.
That's also true.
So I think like having two guys, pure physical monsters on either side of Udogie and Spence, I think can be so valuable to us in this game.
But I agree with that. But the reason I'm saying Porro is because with the three, I think we're going to go with.
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I completely get what you're saying, and it's definitely true. Pedro Porro is the best passer we got, and I think both of them have their pros. I just personally, from where I think the game's going to pan out with Arsenal penning us in a little bit and Spurs having to work on those transitions, I think Spence could be a bit more valuable in those situations. But look,
Also,
it doesn't really matter because I think he's going to go with Pedro.
But also on the left-hand side, who are we really that worried about? Unless maybe we think Eze might play.
I don't know who's fit because I think Martinelli's going into it with a question mark. Trossard's going to probably play on the left.
I know Porro did have a difficult time with Trossard last time. But
Yeah.
Is it not a...
Trossard's on really good form this
Is
season.
he not a player we think that Porro can handle?
Well, not judging by the last game, he couldn't. I
Okay,
mean,
but
Trossard has been very, very good this season. I wouldn't underestimate him.
Yeah, but it's not about... He's a very tricky player. He's not a player who's going to outpace you. So it's not like pace is the name of the game with him. You know what I mean?
No, but we all know, regardless of pace, that Jed Spence is just a better defender than Pedro Porro.
Yeah.
We know that. So Trossard, I'm more comfortable with Spence dealing with him than I am with Pedro Porro.
Yeah, but I'm not uncomfortable with Pedro being...
No, look, I'm not uncomfortable with Pedro playing this game whatsoever. It's just a personal preference of mine that I prefer to see Spence play. But like I said, I think Pedro Porro is going to play.
All right, we're going with Porro. So midfield 3 now.
Yeah.
So
Paolini 100%.
yeah, he's going to be there. We know that. Now the thing is, beginning of the season we played a 3 against PSG and against City of Paolini, Bentancur and Sarr.
Yeah.
Very physical.
Yeah.
Very robust. It was actually Sarr was kind of playing in a kind of hybrid 10 role where he was getting closer to.
I think it's going to be the same.
The thing is, Bergvall is there, available, and he was in quite good form before.
Yeah.
And he adds that little bit of technical ability. Plus, he's quite good physically. Obviously, there is Xavi, who's look, he's not been in the greatest form, but good performance against Copenhagen. Wasn't so good against United. Scored on international break as well. So yeah, I guess those are the only 2 guys maybe. But Sarr fit and available. Is he 100% though? Is he fit enough to start? He does say fit and available, so you've got to assume yes.
Yeah. I think it's going to be the exact same 3. I think it's going to be Paolini, Bentancur, Sarr.
Just basically make it as difficult as possible.
100%, yeah. Because they've got very strong players in midfield, man. Zubimendi and Rice are 2 of their best players.
Yeah.
And we're going to need the physicality in the midfield to match them up and try and win that midfield battle, however hard it's going to be. Yeah, I think it's going to be those 3.
Yeah, and I think we know it can work. We've seen it, especially against very good opposition as well. So might not be pretty, but it might be just what
effective. Yeah. All right, so that's the midfield. Let's go up front. Is Muani going to start? That's the big question.
So I think for sure, if we are doing this, I think Kudus
100%. Yeah.
Up front. And I remember there's a game that sticks out of my mind that Kudus could do. I remember a few years ago, Wolves were playing at the Etihad away at City, and they just stuck Adama Traore up front, and he got a brace, and they won the game. Just kept it tight, just gave it to Adama because they know, because they're gonna commit a lot of risk and maybe leave some players at the back. They know Adama has that ability against anyone to beat him, and I think that's how we got to use Kudus. Just any time there's any space, go long to him and just get him to hold the ball, get him to roll his man and just run into the space as much as possible. And he did that a couple of times against PSG in the Super Cup. And with Gabriel out, I'm not saying Hincapié, Mosquera are mugs, but he probably would fancy himself against them more than against Gabriel.
Yeah.
In a one-on-one situation.
I agree, but in terms of, look, it goes down physicality, but they're still very physical players. Hincapié and Mosquera, they're big, strong men.
So is Kudus.
Yeah, so is Kudus. So I'm saying, I'm more comfortable seeing him go up against them, but I just want to see him use that physicality the way he used it against PSG. Go at those defenders, make yourself so difficult. As soon as those defenders are on the ball, I want to see Kudus charging at them. Just charge at them and just make them panic. Try your best to make them panic anyway.
Just go direct and early to him, to Kudus. That could be a real source of joy, I think.
I agree. So it's just who goes up front alongside Kudus. So you've got the likes of Muani, you've got Richarlison, you've got even Brennan Johnson that could play in that position as well. I think the least person I want to see there is Richarlison, in my opinion. The one I want to see there the most is Muani. And if Muani's not fit, I'd like to see Brennan Johnson there.
I don't think we play Brennan up front in this game. We might do. I'll just be surprised if we do, because then you've got no natural 9. You're playing him and Johnson together. I don't know if that's you.
But there's an argument to say Johnson is the best finisher there.
He is, but is he? He also needs to be physically be able to kind of be a bit more physically kind of dueling with the centre back a bit more. And I don't know. Tell as well. Yeah, Tell as well. Start.
I wouldn't mind seeing Tell alongside Kudus.
Obviously, Kudus, you would think, will do the majority of the dueling anyway.
Yeah.
But you saw early on in the season how important like Richarlison was at doing that stuff. And I just don't know if Johnson is going to be capable of that. And that's going to be so important. I think Moani definitely is. But again, he's obviously fractured his jaw. He's playing with a mask. Is he ready to start? Is it going to be a case of let's like bring him on, see how he goes, and then he's ready to start the next game? I don't know. Obviously, physically he should be fit, but whether mentally that fractured jaw is going to be playing on his mind in this game or not, I've got a feeling he probably goes with Rishi, to be honest.
Rishi,
because he knows he's played that role in a 2. If he can get that level in this game that we saw earlier in the season, that would be like perfect, obviously. But we haven't obviously seen it. I've got a feeling he goes Rishi and then Moani off the bench. That's what I think he would do.
I think Moani's going to start, man. I said it yesterday when we were speaking about it. I just got a feeling, you know my feelings, they're usually really wrong. But yeah, I think it's going to be Moani. I think, you know, they're trying their best to get him fit and available and to start this game. I really believe that.
Okay. To be fair, it hasn't gone away on internationals. Yeah, I just got a feeling it's Rishi, but all right, let's go Moani.
Who would you prefer?
I want it to be Moani.
All right, so let's go Moani then.
I want it to be Moani.
All right, so that is our predicted lineup to go into battle in the North London derby on Sunday. We have got Vicario in goal. We got Danso, Romero and Mickey van der Ven as the back 3. We have got Sarr, Palini and Bentancur in the middle 3. Porro right wing back. Destiny left wing back with Kudus and Randall Kolo Muani up top. This is our prediction. If this is the lineup, what is your scoreline prediction?
I think this is the lineup. I'm going to go for 1-1.
1-1.
I think this would make it very difficult for Arsenal to break us down. The free centre-back coverage, you've got the wing-backs as well, which is going to be making sure they don't double up against us out wide. The only problem I do have is progressing the ball to the forward players and getting them involved as possible. The problem is if these 2 up front get dominated and they're not winning their duels, there's a fear we're getting really penned in and there's going to be a real struggle to build any sort of attacks. And if you remember those games, especially the PSG game, we didn't do much in open play. We had our moments, but it was mainly them winning the ball, winning a set piece, and then us doing it, right? Creating stuff. So them winning their duels is going to be so important. So I'm slightly worried about that, but I do think it's going to be very difficult for Arsenal to break that down. I really do. I think they're going to get frustrated.
I think with this lineup, the game's going to be won by the odd goal, and I think there'll only be 1 goal in the game. I'm undecided whether it's going to be for Arsenal or for Spurs, but I do feel like I agree with you that Arsenal find it very difficult to break us down, but I think equally we might find it equally as difficult to break Arsenal down. I feel it's going to be a very pensive game. I think it will be won by the odd goal from a set piece. It's basically who's better on set pieces on the day. And with Gabriel being out, it does diminish their set piece threat. We've got João Palhinha, not as strong as Gabriel, but he's a set piece threat in his own right. I'm going to go for 1-0 to Spurs.
1-0, clean sheet at the
1-0 to Spurs, yeah.
1-0, wow.
I don't say that confidently, but I say 1-0 to Spurs.
He's got a funny feeling going.
I'm going to say 1-0 to Spurs.
If we were to quickly, if he, because we saying back 3 because he did against PSG, but then he did go to Etihad and go back 4, right?
Yeah.
So if he does go back 4, how would you like that to look if it was like a 4-3-3?
If we were to go 4-3-3, I would go Spence right back, a Doggy left back. I would go Romero, Mickey van der Ven in the middle of the park. I'd go Palhinha, Bentancur, Xavi. I'd go...
Will you go Xavi in a 4-3-3 and not Sarr?
Yeah.
So something like this?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'd go for. Odegaard on the left, Kudus on the right, Moani up top.
And there's a fear we do that with 2 open.
Yeah, we'll definitely be too open.
You think so?
I think so, yeah.
I think, well, if you add Saar ahead of and not Javi.
Helps us.
Or Bergvall, even.
Bergvall. I wouldn't mind seeing Bergvall
Like
because
a
I think he's got
midfield
the bite in the challenge as well.
I think there is a good chance he goes with that as well. Because the Etihad was probably a better performance than PSG, to be honest.
It's true. Yeah,
So
it's true.
There is a chance he just does that. And
What lineup would you prefer to see?
I think there's less chance we lose if we go for a back three, in my opinion. But I think there's also more chance we win if we don't.
Yeah.
It's in a weird way. So it's kind of what mentality he's saying. Frank, he goes into the game, we're not going there not to lose. That's what he said. But doesn't necessarily mean if we play a back three, we're going to go necessarily defensive.
Yeah.
But I feel more comfortable with the back three, personally.
So do I. But
To take risk is also a risk. Not to take risk.
But let us know your thoughts. Would you like to see this team currently on screen or the team that we saw previously with a 3 at the back, a 3-5-2 formation? Me personally, I'd like to see the 3-5-2. If it is 3-5-2, I'm going for 1-0 to Spurs. If it is a 4-3-3, I'm going 2-1 to Arsenal.
Also, if it is 3-5-2, you do have a hell of a lot of players on the bench to cover. You've got Johnson, you have Odebear, you have Richarlison or Marnie. You've got Tell as well. You've got a lot of attacking players to come on. You can change formations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like if we're losing and you're a back four, you're not really going to go to a back three, are you? Like if you're behind.
Yeah.
So it gives us a bit more like ability to change it. From
a bit more flexibility. Yeah. I don't disagree with that. We need to target them. Well, I say we need to target them, but if Calafiori is out, they clearly see a bit of a difference in Calafiori and Lewis Skelly. So I know Skelly is a good player in his own right, but I think when it comes to Kudus against Skelly, he can buy a lot of fouls against him, and he can really. I think that's the place that we can target.
Yeah, the thing is with Skelly is because he's very comfortable in midfield. Because I think he's a natural midfielder.
Yeah, he is.
And he's been playing at left back, but does this inverted role very well, and he cuts inside and goes into the space centrally. Now, is Kudus going to track that? That's what I'm worried about. And Kudus would have to be very disciplined to do that. And I'm worried that if Skelly was to play, he'd get a lot of joy doing that. Because I feel like Kudus, it's fine. He's more comfortable. If you're just going to run down the line and he's tracking you backwards, he's kind of comfortable doing that. But when you're starting to ask different questions of him, all of a sudden it might become very difficult.
Yeah, you know what? I'm looking at this Arsenal teams in terms of where to target, and I mentioned Skelly, but they don't really have a weak point in their team. That's the honest truth about it. So it's going to be a backs against the walls job, that's for sure. And I think nobody is giving Spurs a chance in hell this game. Literally, you ask 10 people say Arsenal are going to win. Just that alone makes me think that something special might happen this weekend, But look, that is our predicted lineup. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. We're going to move straight on. Actually, let's get into a couple of super chats just before we do. Because a few has come through. Wibbers says that 4-2-3-1, right to left, Vicario, Spence, Romero, Van der Ven, Udogie, Palhinha, Bentancur, Kudus, Javi, Odebear, Tell. He's going Tell up front.
Tell up front.
He had a good week with the under-21s and can't play on Wednesday, which is very true. He can't.
And he obviously scored in the last game against United. Not a bad shout. I just think in this game, you're going to need that experience, I feel.
Yeah. And he also says, I'm your age, Ben, but I only started following Spurs in the back end of 2009-10. Did I miss much? Well, you missed a trophy a couple of years before that in the League Cup, 2008. You missed a trophy in 1999.
Lasagna Gate.
Yeah, you missed a hell of a lot, to be honest. A hell of a lot. But, yeah. Southeast Coys, with a members chat member for 9 months, says, unpopular opinion, but we should suffer on the left wing for the rest of the season and make Mikey Moore our starting left winger next season. His ceiling is high.
Mikey Moore.
Look, I think when you're talking about Mikey Moore, it's important just to see how he progresses this season. He's only just started playing well in the Rangers shirt. Signs are good.
Playing more in the number 10 kind of roles
Yeah,
at the moment.
yeah. So I think he's kind of like a left winger drifting inside, asked to create a lot from the central areas. So look, it's important we just let Mikey crack on with his development instead of saying, look, he's going to be our starting left winger next season.
And if we were saying more needs to be involved next season, we signed a left winger. I don't know whether I'd leave Talon Odebear, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know about that. Yeah.
All right, let's get into the big preview. Arsenal against Tottenham. A battle is about to commence this weekend. It's going to be a long, long wait as we're sifting through all the football this weekend to get to the North London derby, that anxious wait to get to those 90 minutes on enemy territory.
I never sleep the night before.
Literally, it just gets worse and worse every year. And this is probably one of the worst of the lot, just because of our record in North London derbies in recent years. The record is horrendous. The record is horrific. And it's surely embarrassing, to be honest. When you're looking at, before this bad record started, we actually had a really good record against them. And we looked good. I know we didn't win too many times at the Emirates. We've only won once in Premier League era at the Emirates. But can it all change this weekend? Do you have a hope in hell? Because nobody, like I said before, nobody is giving Spurs a chance. It's got to change at some point, this record.
Well, considering we're unbeaten away, it must mean we give ourselves a chance, with that kind of record. There must be belief in the camp. Like, we've been away to the Etihad and won. We have, I know PSG wasn't away from home, but, obviously we did get a good result there. Like, we've gone away from home and we're getting used to the fact that we're not losing. Like, we're going and making ourselves very tough to beat. We're winning a lot of games. And this is what I was saying before as well. Sorry. In a lot of these games, we don't play well, but you just give yourselves an opportunity because you've got those set pieces. Remember the Everton game, not playing so well, but you give yourself an opportunity by always being good at set pieces, and that's what we've given ourselves so far away from home.
Yeah, the worrying thing about that is the defensive set pieces, because we have conceded a few over the last 3 or 4 games, and we can't be that weak at defending those set pieces. Obviously the one that comes to mind, I think there has been a few more, but the one that comes to mind is that last minute one against Manchester United. It just seems so disorganised, allowing De Ligt to creep in at the back post like that.
It was only the second set piece we've conceded this season.
But the first one, didn't it come in the last 3 or 4 games as well? I can't remember the first one, but I just remember them, us actually conceding a few chances. Didn't we concede from a set piece? Was it in Newcastle in the cup?
Yeah, that was when Spence was tying his laces.
So is that the 2, or has there been another one in the Premier League?
I think it's 2 in the league. Chelsea, no. Villa, no. Was Leeds? No. No. So I think it's just those 2.
Brighton, no. But anyway. It's just Wolves.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just like that one against Manchester United. The way we conceded the first goal against Manchester United as well. It's just like these worrying defensive traits just creeping into the side, and we just need to make sure we're kind of flawless in that aspect in this game, because we know any sort of slip up in defence, particularly from set pieces, they're going to be there, and they're going to be ruthless. They're going to put it in the back of the net. And
it's also important to know, and it's, if you're being brutally honest, as much as our away form on paper is very good, our performances away from home of late actually haven't been that impressive. Last away game we lost to Newcastle pretty convincingly. We had some glimpses, but deserved to lose. Everton away, that was decent. We won 3-0. But again, you watch the game, it's not like we blew them away. We just got from set pieces and kept it tight.
Who were the better team?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, we were the better team, but it's not like you came away saying, "Wow, Tottenham are amazing." What I mean?
No, but it's still the first team. First team to win there.
I'm saying, I'm talking about performance-wise. It was good, but it wasn't incredible. Monaco away, should have lost by 2 or 3. Leeds away, decent. Again, we did win the game. Bodo away, not good. Should have lost that game. So in the last few, it's not been incredible performance.
Brighton away was a good performance. I thought.
Brighton away was good, and then before that it was good. Brighton away good. West Ham away good. City away good, Burnley away good. So I'm saying the beginning was good.
But actually in the Premier League, I know what you're saying, it's not.
I'm saying lately. I'm just saying lately.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you want to just look at the Premier League ones, there's not one that we deserve to lose or didn't get what we deserved apart from Brighton.
Yeah. Fair. Which we obviously deserve to win.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So I think when you're looking at Premier League, our away performances, we've got what we deserve. If not, we deserve more out of all of it.
Yeah, but when you're talking about playing better opposition, like we have, like Newcastle, Monaco, and Bodo in Champions League, we've been by far second best, probably.
Yeah, but also in those games, Bodo, we played a much changed side, didn't we? Pretty weak side on that day. Monaco was just a complete shit show. Monaco was definitely the poorest out of the lot, in my opinion. And who's the other one that you say? Newcastle, yeah. So the thing is with the Newcastle game, we weren't good enough, and Newcastle were the better team, but we actually saw some aspects in that game that you could cling on to and being like, we're getting better in this situation. It just hasn't progressed from there.
That was it, really.
Yeah, but more chances than we did in probably the other games.
I know, but we still it's not like, okay, so you create a few chances, you should be doing that every game,
Yeah. No, I agree, but look, we all know Newcastle is a very hard place to go, as is Arsenal.
But I'm saying when it's not our away form's good, and that should give us confidence going into it. But in terms of performances of late, it's not like our away form is just being like we're playing very well. It's just like in the Premier League it's been decent, and then in the recent away performances haven't really impressed. That's what I would say. But I think going into it, that away form is going to stand us in good stead, make us a bit calm in this situation when we're going to be going to a cauldron of in the North London derby. The atmosphere is going to be up for it, and going into it knowing that we've got a good away record, we're hard to beat. Give the team confidence.
Yeah, I think so. But just that record, I've got it staring at me at the screen right now, man. It just makes me so angry looking at those results. 4 losses in our last 5 against Arsenal. They've won, 3 in a row at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We haven't won there since 2010 in the Premier League.
The annoying thing is, in a lot of these games, it's not like we've been terrible. I think the 2-1 January defeat, we weren't good, but we took the lead, didn't we? And then they came back, but they didn't play very well that day either. I remember it was just 2 poor teams on that day.
Yeah.
The 1-0 loss, Gabriel got a header against a run of play, and they scored with basically their only shot on target.
Yeah.
That 3-2 win, we played really well that day.
We were 3-0 down at half time.
I know, but we shouldn't have been. We were much the better team, and we conceded an own goal, set pieces. We should have had a penalty, and they scored on a counter from it.
Which is the one with the Van der Ven ruled out goal?
That's the one, 3-2.
3-2, yeah.
We played really well that day, and we somehow ended up 3-0, and we came back and we couldn't do it.
Yeah, 2-2 we should have won that.
Well. And then that 2-0, we were pretty bad in that one. That one I would say is the one you would say we were thoroughly outplayed. But I don't know if the other ones, it's just it's really frustrating. It's not like we stumped the place down, a lot of them.
Yeah. Anything in you, any thoughts about maybe these negative thoughts creeping in to maybe Arsenal's mind, fans, players alike, in terms of, they could have extended that gap to 8 points, I think, Man City won, but, before the Man City game, they could have extended that gap at the top to 8 points. But, like I said to Hugh, it's kind of like the narrative could be same old Arsenal, because whenever they have had those opportunities over the last 2 years, the same thing has happened. They've dropped points to teams that they should have beaten. So with that having happened just before the international break, do you feel that there could be a bit of something in the back of their mind saying, we've done it again?
The only thing I'd say to that is City play before us, before this game. So it kind of depends what happens in that game. If City drop points before Arsenal play, I don't think there's going to be any negativity going into this game, in terms of that perception. But I think the fact, if City win, all of a sudden the doubts start, oh my God, they're going away, Newcastle, they're winning. Are they really back on top? Are they back on form? Then the pressure's really ramping up, I think. And then all of a sudden...
Does City play Sunday?
They play Saturday evening. 5:30. So
if City actually win that game away at Newcastle, which is a very difficult game, if they go and win that, it's a lot of pressure on Arsenal Sunday, isn't it?
All of a sudden, because then all of a sudden they're only 1 point clear going into the break, and 1 point's nothing. All of a sudden they had a lead of 7 a couple of weeks ago. Now it's down to 4, and now all of a sudden are they big favourites? Everyone's been saying. We know how City have been there, done it. and all those thoughts come into it in your mind. The only thing I would say about the Sunderland game is that didn't look like a team to me when I was watching it. Like, yes, they drew, and it wasn't a good result, but when I was watching it, they didn't look like a team that was like bottling it. They deserved to win that game. They were much better than Sunderland, and they were unlucky probably to concede late on. There are like, it's different to, like, there are some games like last season when they had those chances, they weren't unlucky, they were just bad, and they didn't win because they weren't good enough. I wouldn't say they didn't win because they weren't good enough against Sunderland. So
Yeah.
until that element starts creeping into them.
But they also have had like elements in their game in some games this season where they haven't been good enough and they've kind of just got by through the set pieces. In some games.
I don't remember too many of those games.
I can't remember which off the top of my head, but I just remember watching them a couple of times this season thinking, you know what, Arsenal are not really good here. Let me go through their games and see which ones. Maybe the Palace game when they won 1-0 at the Emirates. I thought Palace, gave as good as they got that. I mean, I don't think Palace created too many clear-cut chances, but there wasn't many chances in the game, and Arsenal won by the odd set piece. And, a draw in that game, probably people were saying, all right, fair result.
Okay, but when you have that kind of performance and you win, it doesn't matter as much.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, that's why it's so important to keep. If Arsenal do have one of those performances, it's those set pieces getting them out of jail every single time.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to stop
United
that.
away as well, early in the
United away, yeah.
That was obviously first game of the season, but it's few. It's few and far between.
Man City at home, getting that goal in the last minute, way they did.
But they also did pen Man City in for pretty much 45 minutes and did end up getting the equal. I think the fact they did score was psychologically big, in my opinion, in that actually moment. As much as a point before the game probably wasn't a good result, I think the way it happened was massive. Because you can see now City would be top of the league, if it wasn't for that.
Yeah.
So, or at least very close to. So, that psychologically that was massive. Arsenal were, I think, in every game pretty much, like, been pretty good, and they're defensively just been so solid. They don't really have any game where they're conceding loads of chances. It's mad. Defensively, they're just impossible. So.
But they did concede 2 goals.
They did.
Last time out.
They did. It's true. But in terms of performance, they were unlucky. They created a lot.
100%.
They should have.
I think that second half was probably their best performance of the season.
So they should have been out of sight in terms of the way they played. So I don't think if I was an Arsenal fan watching that, like, it's like I remember last season. I remember like Liverpool went away to Newcastle. And they were like 2-0 down. They turned it around to get 3-2 up, and then they conceded late in the game and ended up drawing 3-3 after a mistake. And everyone was like, they bottled their chance, like, to extend the lead. But I was watching that game thinking, I thought they were really impressive, and it was really unlucky because it was a mistake. And like, performance-wise, I still think that would give them confidence. And I think same with Arsenal, like, as much as they failed at the last minute in that game, I don't think the performance will worry them too much. But if they drop in this game, then all of a sudden, I think the alarm bells might start.
I get what you're saying, but on performance-wise, but the result thing is still the same. You know what I mean? Like, they had the opportunity, and they kind of bottled it. And they didn't take advantage of the good performance that they had. They still drew the game.
But I think for me, bottling it is when I know bottling it has become a term used just when you don't get the result, no matter how that happens. But for me, bottling it used to be like you have a winnable game, and you don't perform how you should.
Yes,
and then
fine.
All of a sudden you don't perform and you don't get the result because you psychologically you don't rise to the occasion, and your performance suffers, and all of a sudden that, like, you get nervous and then you bottle it. I wouldn't say they bottled it; they were unlucky.
Yeah, that's fine, but they were 1-0 down, and you probably couldn't argue against that result at half time. Second half, they were unbelievable. They turned around the result. They overturned the deficit. They went 2-1 up, and they still conceded in the last minute. How's that last minute not a bottle, especially with what Gabriel and Ray were doing?
You can't call one game a bottle. If it becomes a theme, then it's all of a sudden.
But it is a theme over the number of years.
But I want to talk about this season.
Yeah.
And yes, they've bottled it over the years, but I'm saying this season, I wouldn't say that game is evidence of them bottling it. I
think it's just evidence of the same thing happening if they carry on winning and they go and win the league, then fine, they've overcome that. But in this moment, after being 2-1 up and overturning the deficit after a really good performance and still not winning that game and conceding in the manner that they did, it just felt like a bit of a bottle for me.
Well, if they win this game, and then you look at their record, is it still a bottle? Like, you can't. You know what I mean? Is that a result drawing that goes still a bottle? Because
If they win the league, then no. But at this moment in time, they could have gone 8 points clear. And, you know, it's just carries on a theme that we've seen over the past couple of seasons.
I mean, I think I want to agree with you. But
So agree, man.
but I just think you're being so incredibly harsh. But I hope you're right. I'm hoping this is the start of a big bottle job. I do hope that.
But look, these guys are trophy dodgers. No European pedigree. We're going there as European champions, baby. We're going there with the Europa League trophy in our hands. Something that they've never won before.
We've got to bring like a load of replica Europa League trophies.
Yeah, I'm sure some plans
Someone's got to have that organised, surely.
I'm sure some plans are made,
of
man.
little Europa League trophies that we can hang out. Come on.
Like, all this narrative that the Arsenal fans want to say now about, oh, it's a second-rate trophy, nobody wants to even be in it. Yeah, fine. You might not want to be in it. You might want to be in the Champions League, and that's completely fair enough. But when they were in it, what the hell did they do in it? They did absolutely nothing. They got to a final against Chelsea. What happened? They got absolutely shat on. Absolutely shat on. So don't tell me if you're in that competition you don't want to win it, because that is just absolute bollocks.
Well, they had a parade planned.
Exactly.
They had a parade plan. They had to call off. They had to call off their parade.
I've never seen a team call off more parades than Arsenal, man. Every year they're calling off a parade. Every year. I'm telling you, man, they're the biggest trophy dodgers. West Ham, Crystal Palace, Tottenham Hotspur, Manchester City, Liverpool. Anyone else I'm missing out that have won more trophies than Arsenal in the last 5 years?
It's over half a decade since they won a trophy now.
Mate, West Ham have won a trophy more recently than Arsenal. West Ham.
It's embarrassing. They should be embarrassed. They don't get enough heat for that because they're doing well in the league.
They've been going on about us, about trophy this, trophy that, for how many years? And then suddenly when we win a trophy, it's like, oh, but no one wants to be in that trophy.
All of a sudden.
No one wants. It doesn't matter if you win a trophy. It doesn't matter if you win that trophy. It doesn't matter if you win a second-rate European competition. We're on to bigger and better things. We're on to title challengers. Well, what happened when we were title challengers and we hadn't won a trophy and you won the FA Cup? Oh, all of a sudden it's only trophies that matter. These lot, man, they have no shame.
At the moment, until they win something, they're just as good as Poch's Spurs.
100%. 100%. And not only are they just as good as Poch's Spurs, but they've actually got massive backing financially behind them. Like, Poch never had that. Poch never had the, 400 million spent in one summer or something.
The best season they had was a couple of years ago. They got 89 points. Poch got 86. It's not much different.
With £0
and he got
spent.
to Champions League final.
With 0 spent.
Exactly. So they're like, that's what they are. That's what they have to accept until they win a trophy. And we won't know until the end of the season, but they have to do it. And you've got Man City breathing down their necks. We know how that story goes. We've seen how that ends. And Man City, Pep Guardiola, he seems in defiant mood. He said, now the international breaks are over. We've got a big stretch till March. The season starts now for us.
Yeah, you know what?
4 points. And to be honest, actually, they should be kicking themselves a bit. They haven't got a bigger lead ahead of City going into the run we have now. Because all of a sudden they should have been a bit more out of sight.
Yeah. So, I mean, they don't want to have that bottle job tag, Arsenal. But that's exactly what they are. They're a bunch of bottle jobs because they like to say, oh, Spurs are the bottle job. Spurs are Spursy. What have we bottled? We're not good enough. That's not bottling something to be not good enough. We just haven't been good enough over the past 5-10 years, however long it's been. We've been in the mud, we've been shit. Let's be honest. We're in the shadows of Harry Kane, now the shadows of Son Heung-min as well. We've had 2 massive players leave us. We haven't been able to get to those levels that we had under Pochettino. We haven't been good enough. We haven't bottled anything. We just haven't been good enough.
We were never ahead.
Exactly. They've been bottling things year after year now under Arteta. That's been the reality. They are a bunch of bottle jobs.
When they lost that title a few years ago to Man City, when they were 8 points clear, that is one of the biggest bottle jobs we've seen in Premier League history.
Exactly.
Like, Spurs were never in the lead when we had those seasons that everyone called us bottle jobs. And we got
Yeah, you know what? Everyone says second in a two-horse race or third in a two-horse race, whatever, with that Leicester season. Arsenal spent more days at the top of the league than we did that season, which is mad because no one ever mentions Arsenal.
Exactly. They were the ones who bottled it more than we did. They're the real bottlers. And now we've got that trophy. There's nothing it can say about us when it comes to winning trophies or the trophy list, empty trophy cabinet. Well, where's your trophy cabinet? Where's your European trophies? I don't see any.
You ain't got nothing.
I don't
you ain't
see
got
any
no
European
trophies.
Where's your European pedigree?
Exactly. There's only one team in North London that gets spoken about on the European stage, and that is Tottenham Hotspur, because Arsenal ain't won fuck all on the European stage, and that's what it is, and that is what it is. So,
and they're now ruining football. They're trying to win games with corners, trying to turn football into NFL, trying to make everyone set piece FC. And now, obviously, I know we're following along, but we're following the lead. They're leading the way, and it's hard to watch at the moment. Arsenal, what they're doing to football.
Yeah, but look, they are doing it very well. They're top of the league doing it. But it ends on Sunday, people. It ends on Sunday. We have to go there and take something from the game. If we go there and take something from the game, whether it's a draw or a win, surely that puts a big dagger if they go 2 games in a row without a win and Man City go 1 point or 2 points behind.
Yeah, I think we have to see what City do first. But if City win, I think the pressure is going to ramp up on us. And we know how they like the pressure. Not very good.
Nah, they don't handle the pressure well. And that's what it is, because they don't have a team full of winners. They don't have a team full of winners. You know, if you hear an Arsenal fan speak about Arsenal, you would think they've got 10 Premier Leagues in the last 10 years. You would think they've won 5 Champions Leagues in the last 5 years. You would think like they're like the best team that have ever walked the planet of this earth. That's just not reality. It really is not reality. They are such a deluded fan base. And don't get me wrong, like they are the best team. Best squad in the Premier League right now. They're doing very well. They're very hard to score against. They've got an unbelievable defence. They're a very good side. But they're nowhere near as good as they think they are.
No. They think they're like better than like the Centurions. They're better than the Liverpool sides who are... The Liverpool teams that are battling with Guardiola that finished second, they were much better than these Arsenal teams. Much better. Like they're nowhere near as good as those teams. Look, they're a good team. But again, they're like, if Chelsea didn't exist and Arsenal were battling with Tottenham back then, we would be in a title race neck and neck. That's what it would be. It would be very tight. Like, that's the level they are. They've only got to a quarterfinal of the Champions League. Have they got further than a quarterfinal?
They got to the semis last year.
Semis last year.
Yeah.
Okay, so they got to a semi and been past the semi-finals of the. Also, every year they go out in the domestic cups early. So they have a clear run at the league. So they only ever focus on the league. They always give up the domestic trophies early on. And all the other clubs like City and Liverpool, they're picking up these domestic trophies, right? They're picking up along the way. And they're not taking them for granted. And they're winning the leagues ahead of them. Whereas Arsenal are bidding them off for the leagues and they don't even win the league.
Yep.
So, like, the quality of the team and the manager offering from the Arsenal fan base, I know he's done well, but they think he's like on the level of Guardiola and Klopp and all these. It's ridiculous.
Do me a favour, man. You're looking at their whole squad. How many trophies does their starting 11 have combined? Well, Eze has got a FA Cup with Crystal Palace. Declan Rice got a Conference League with West Ham. That's it. That's all they got to show. They let Crystal Palace and West Ham be more successful than them in terms of success trophies in the last 5 years. And I think it's embarrassing from an Arsenal standpoint, to be honest. I really do.
In this period, if they don't win anything, it's just going to come and go. It won't matter. No one's going to look back like as harsh as it is, like we do with Poch.
Yeah.
We were the nearly men, and as much as we enjoyed it at the time, at the end of the day, it didn't mean anything. In 20 years' time, no one's going to be talking about that Poch.
Exactly.
It's just going to be something that happened. It's not going to go down in history as anything special. It's just going to be, okay, there was a couple of years we were close, but never did it. But it's nothing special happened. And the same will happen with Arteta. Like, yes, it'll be a period where they improved a bit, but if they don't win anything, this period will come and go. You've got to take advantage of it. And at the moment, they're not. And that's what's going to really go down in history. That's what people will remember it for. Well, nothing. They won't remember it.
100%.
They're not going to remember it.
100%. And nothing would please me more. I want nothing more than to go to the Emirates this weekend and take something. If we get a win, that'll be an absolute bonus. But, God, please, can the footballing gods just look down on us once? just once.
Never get any luck at the end.
You know what I mean? We'd never get the luck. Like, you got this, the ref, Michael Oliver, right? Who's been put in charge of this game as ref. Like, he got taken off Arsenal games. He gets put back on because of decisions he's given away against Arsenal. I think the last one was the Skelly one against Wolves when he got sent off, right? He hasn't been on an Arsenal game since then. Mm-hmm. Well, when he got last put in charge of a North London derby, we had a stonewall penalty when I think one of the Arsenal players absolutely kicked lumps out of Ben Davis, was it? Mm-hmm. In the box. It's like a ref that is literally so against, or like he's given 8 red cards against Arsenal, and all the Arsenal fans before that game was like, oh, Michael Oliver is in charge of this game, we're going to get this. Even in that game, the ref gave a horrific decision against us.
And we could add a penalty before Saka scored as well, and he literally scored from a counter from a penalty he should have had. Yeah, like, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. So we just need something to go our way, man.
And also, can we stop scoring own goals in this derby? We keep scoring, like last year. We at the Emirates, we scored an own goal. At the White Hart Lane. The year before, Højbjerg scored an own goal. Romero scored an own goal at the Emirates when we drew 2-2. Emerson got sent off the year before that at the Emirates. Can we stop shooting ourselves in the foot?
Yeah.
If we stop making stupid mistakes and shooting ourselves in the foot, give ourselves half a chance.
Nothing is more Tottenham North London derby at the Emirates than bloody Eric Lamela, man. When he scored that Rabona and then got sent off.
Another one, another sending off. We keep getting sending off for scoring own goals.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I know. So it's got to change this weekend, man. Please. But I say it every time we go to the Emirates. Like, it's got to change. We got to get a result this time. But it's the same thing that happens every time, and we get sucked in. The stadium is always in full voice. The one game where they come out and sing pretty much all season is Tottenham at home. But can we just change the narrative this season, man? We changed the narrative last season in terms of the trophies. We're more successful in terms of trophies than Arsenal in the last 5 years. Can we go to the Emirates and actually take something? Can we do it?
Well, we need to be a lot better than we have been recently.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We need to up our game. We need to find that energy we were having.
I want to see cup final Romero in this game, man.
We need to find the levels and the energy we're showing early in the season away from home, like that aggressiveness, that that organisation, and like also battling for things going forward, putting it to Kudus and Rishi, but them battling for it and winning those duels. We haven't seen that, and I think that is going to be a big element in this game as to whether we can take anything.
And look, it's been 2 weeks since our last game, and I know a lot of players have been out on internationals and everything, but Thomas Frank and his coaching staff have been there thinking about this game for 2 weeks now. He's got to come up with an unbelievable game plan that we can take down this Arsenal team with, surely. Because, Arsenal and Arteta, they're going to do the same thing. Like, I don't think he'll come up with a game plan and look at ways that he can hurt us, but they've been pretty much set up the same way every game this season, and it's working well for them. And I don't think he's going to deviate from that too much. Well, Thomas Frank, on the other hand, it's been very up and down this season. Some good games, some bad games, some okay games. But the whole thing about Thomas Frank is he was supposed to come up with tactical plans to fight each and every game. It's been very hard to do that when playing 2 games a week. But now he's had 2 weeks to think about it. He's had 2 weeks with his coaching staff, literally just one eye on the North London derby. He's got to come up with some sort of plan here.
Yeah, and do you think if it's a bad defeat and a bad performance, and that away beaten run gets lost, does pressure start mounting again, or is it depend again? Well, not again, but again after Chelsea, it was like not pressure, but there was a lot of noise. It wasn't Frank out, but there was a lot of disgruntlement, put it that way, after Chelsea, and obviously that was put to bed after Copenhagen. Man United, it was mixed. But if there's like a Chelsea-esque performance again here, well, what kind of reaction? Obviously, it's going to be extremely.
Look, the fallout of a North London derby is always worse than anything else.
Extra emotional.
Yeah, it's all because like you said, all the emotion that goes into it. I don't think pressure mounts up in terms of his job. I think there'll be obviously a lot of noise on social media, a lot of unhappy fans.
There's even talk after Chelsea, there was articles saying, is he about to be Nuno'd?
Yeah, I think all of that was ridiculous, man. Like, just give the man a bit of time. Let him implement his ideas on the team and see where we go. And if we're sitting in here a year's time, we're still sitting in the same kind of boat. And, there's a conversation to be had there then. But right now, even with a bad loss in the North London derby, I don't think those conversations should be happening.
Yeah, I agree. And obviously, it's going to be very painful if we get a bad defeat and we don't.
As it is every year.
And to be honest, like, as much as I'm sitting here saying, yeah, well, like, we need to go there and create chances, and that's what I hope and I expect, Arsenal have gone how many games without conceding and how many games without not even a shot on target? I mean, they conceded against Sunderland, but before that, it was, 9 games?
Yeah.
And even for, like, half of those, they didn't even concede a shot on target, let alone concede a goal. So this is, we can't, it's as much as I expect and want us to go there and even score and create, the facts say we are likely to.
Yeah, Franks has got to be pulling on the heartstrings of the players, man, and bringing the fans into this. And, you know, it's got to be drummed into these players how much you need to give blood, sweat and tears in this game, man. In every game, but particularly this game. What the fans have had to go through in North London derbies now for the past, how many years has it been? 4 or 5 years? In terms of Premier League and at the Emirates, or for our lifetime since the Emirates has been opened, or even Highbury as well. Like Arsenal away, how many times have we beaten Arsenal away in the Premier League era? Twice, 3 times.
Twice. Arsenal away.
Yeah.
Oh, in the Premier League era.
I think it's twice, isn't it? Twice or 3 times.
Yeah, I don't remember us ever winning at Highbury in my lifetime.
So like it's been terrible record. So Spurs fans,
it must be psychology, you know.
Spurs fans have had to deal with a lot in this fixture, like a lot. So it's time to give back. The players need to give back. The club need to give back. Frank needs to give back, and something needs to change at some point. And let's hope it's this weekend.
But how do we go about doing it?
3-5-2, man. Be defensively sound. Don't give away any sloppy set pieces. Don't make a. We need to be perfect at the back. If we're perfect at the back from defence, from set pieces, limit their chances from open play, then we can get something.
Does going into a 3-5-2, is that not? Could you argue? As much as I want to see it as well, I think it's probably the way to go. Is it though sending the wrong message about what we're doing going into this derby, in terms of?
Well, sending the wrong message that you want to take something from the game. No.
Exactly. You want to just take something from the game instead of, we want to go there and win.
No, but I think it's a plan that you can. I think it is a plan to win. I think it can be a plan to win.
Is it a plan to win or a plan not to lose?
I think it's our best avenue to win. I genuinely believe that, because if you limit their chances and don't concede any sloppy set pieces, they're gonna. I believe as the game wears on, they're gonna get higher and higher. There'll be gaps for us. We'll be able to score. I really believe that.
Or based on how much we're creating.
Yeah, you know, all the amount we're creating at this moment is crazy. But we don't go that many games without scoring. We score in, more or less most games.
Yeah, we've scored in the last couple of games. But I mean, recently Monaco we didn't score, Chelsea we didn't score.
Yeah.
Newcastle we didn't score.
Yeah.
It's not like uncommon.
No, but we've scored in every single other game this season.
Yeah, but better opposition.
Yeah, look, Arsenal are very good opposition, but I feel our best avenue to win this game is to keep it more tight at the back than usual and hit them on the transition. I think that's our best avenue to win. I think that sends the best message, tailor a plan to win the game. And I think that's the best way of us winning the game. If we go 4-3-3, I think there's a potential for us to leave it a bit too open at the back.
I hear that. I think 4-3-3 could work. I don't think it's necessarily too open, especially if we play Star, Bentancur and Pally, because we weren't too open when we played 4-3-3 at the Etihad. We played those 3. Mm-hmm. So it can work. And there's also a potential that we could be too penned in, potentially, if we play a 5 at the back and only 2 up top with Kudus and Mwani. Basically, there's a potential that we're going to have 0 width and we're not going to have any threat out wide.
Well, the width's got to come from a Doggy and Porro.
But that's the thing. But if they're penned in by Saka and Timber all the time, because you've got to remember, if a Doggy's going to be our width right at left wing, he's going to have both. Timber's going to be flying forward, right from right back. Saka's going to be winger. Who's Timber's man? Is it a centre mid? Is he going to have to come over? Who does the Doggy pick up? Is he picking up Saka or is he picking up Timber? Because he's got to make those decisions. So all of a sudden, it might be very difficult for a Doggy to get forward when he's got 2 players to manage it. I'm not saying it's impossible. He's very, very physical. He might be able to do it. I'm just theorising that doing that might pen us back. And all of a sudden, it becomes okay, we want it to be a back 3, but it might turn into a back 5. And all of a sudden, if it turns into a back 5 and Kudus doesn't hold on to the ball as much as he should, all of a sudden, it's just wave after wave of attack. That's the problem you have.
Yeah, I mean, look, our Man City played a back four and they got penned back for pretty much the whole game at the Emirates. So I think there'll be massive periods of the game where that will happen. But it's just the way we deal with it, and it's the way once we get the ball, how quickly can we get the ball up the other end of the pitch, and how quickly can we get our players up the pitch as well. You know, against Chelsea, the way we did it was all wrong. Like the way we were attacking, there was literally no threat. We weren't getting players up the other end of the pitch, and we weren't able to play out when we did get the opportunities to go forward. We need to make sure that when we attack with speed and we attack with precision. That's the only way to do it.
I agree with that. I kind of feel, though, the formation and team we've picked, I'm not saying it's the wrong choice, but I feel, and I'm comfortable with this, I feel it's more of a team not to lose rather than a team to go there and win. That's my feeling, if that's the way we set up. And I'm fine with that.
But you've got to be wary of the threats that Arsenal hold as well. Like,
yeah, I'll take a draw. Of course I would. You know, hurt their title. A draw would be a good point for us to keep our unbeaten record. They hurt their title charge.
I know by the end of the game, a draw is a good result, but I'll never sit here and say before a North London derby that I'll take a draw. I always want to go there and win. I always want to beat Arsenal. Like, if you offer me a draw right now, I don't think I'm taking it. As crazy as that sounds, I know it sounds crazy because of what Arsenal are doing right now and what Spurs are doing right now, and you know the levels between the two teams. But I want to win, man. We need to beat them.
So if I had a button here and I said, you press it, we get a draw. You're not pressing it?
No.
I'm pressing it.
I'm not pressing it, man. I want to beat those bastards, man. Come on, just give me those 3 points. Nothing would make me more happier.
Or if I have a button that says City win and we draw, you pressing it?
Probably. But I don't want to press it, though. I want to win, man. I want to win.
Yeah, we all want to win. Of course I want to win.
But yeah, look.
Anything to hurt their title charge, though.
Yeah. Look.
And also keeps us in the hunt for you. Like, it doesn't really hurt us that much.
Yeah. I'm looking at more seeing us progress than hurting their title charge, to be honest. I think it's too early to start talking about that kind of stuff, even though it's not really, because a loss does really put a dent in it.
If we win, 5 points behind.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And they got Chelsea away next. Fulham at home. Where you got? If we win, it'll be significant. Such a significant victory, man. Such a significant victory, and it will give the players so much confidence. Like it could really kickstart the season if we win this weekend.
Where do you reckon the key battles lie in this game?
Midfield is going to be massive. With Declan Rice. Declan Rice is such a good player, man. He's unbelievable. Zubamendi has come in seamlessly in that midfield and just slotted in like he's been there for years. I think the midfield is very key. I think
Palini's got such importance.
Massive.
So I don't know whether it's going to be Eze or Odegaard or both, potentially, or neither, which we've seen what they played either of them against City. But I'm assuming it's going to be one of them. And two, I'm assuming I think if Odegaard's not 100% fit, probably Zubendi, Rice, and Eze in the three. And Eze is obviously that creative hub in that middle. Paulinho has just got such a big job just shutting him down. Make sure he doesn't get a second of time to even think when he's in around that penalty box. Make sure he's just covering that ground, getting stuck in, like playing like he did against PSG and Man City.
We need Paulinho just to man mark Rice throughout the game, man.
Do you think we bother at all pressing high?
I would, because, you know, against PSG we played 3-5-2, but actually we did press quite high at times, you know.
City, we obviously scored by.
Yeah, we have to press high. That's going to be one of our avenues where we can score a goal if we can force them into a bit of a mistake at the back. With Mohamed Kudus, and if it is Muani, both of them are very good pressers. So if we can get them pressing each centre-back, yeah, we have to.
I wonder how that looks. So if we're saying three at the back and we're pressing man-to-man, does that where?
Well, it will look how it looked against PSG because we pressed high in that game at times.
Does that mean a doggy flying forward to their? Probably
to Timber.
You have to envisage because you have to manoeuvre it if we're playing three at the back. It's going to be quite difficult structural change, but we should have the time to figure it out.
Yeah, another key battle is Saka against Udogie.
Mm-hmm.
That is a massively key battle because Saka hasn't been good enough this season, but last few weeks he's been really good. Second half against Sunderland, I thought it was brilliant. So he's starting to come into the season a little bit. So
They've only played, I think, once against each other.
Yeah, I remember that game at the Emirates where Udogie started against Saka. Was it in the 2-2 game?
Yeah.
I think it was, and
Saka
started on fire, didn't he? And Udogie was like, oh, we don't know how Udogie's going to handle this. But as the game wore on, I thought Udogie handled him really well.
Yeah, he got better and better, and I think he just started dominating him, and he was the one going forward all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And Saka, by the end of it, was the one waning a bit. So I think Udogie will be confident. I think the other games have been, I think Davis played, I remember the one where we lost 3-2, and then I think the other two have been Jed Spence.
Yeah.
So I think, Udogie will fancy himself in this game, but he's got to have such an important role because I think he's the only one who's really going to have any chance of creating any natural width. It's going to be him, but it's going to be difficult because he can't really allow himself to be caught out by Saka as well.
No.
And so, what does he prioritise?
Well, if he gets caught out by Saka, you got Van der Ven there backing him up. If it is a 3 at the back, at left centre back, not a bad tool to have.
With more as well, they're likely to have Marino up front.
Yeah.
Like, is that something that are you happy about? You care about? Does it affect how you feel about this game? Is it advantage, disadvantage?
I think he's a good player, Marino. I think he's a very good player, to be honest. And I think since he's moved to the number 9 for Arsenal, he seems to get consistent goals. I think he scores more consistently than probably Gyökeres in the number 9 in terms of minutes to goals ratio or something like that. I don't know. I'm just guessing the stats off the top of my head. I don't know them, but that's what it seems like.
He actually seems to be better at attacking crosses than Gyökeres does.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't really care like who's their number 9. If it's Gyökeres, if it's Marino, if it's Havertz. I know Havertz it won't be, but it doesn't make a difference to me. I think it all depends how the team perform on the day. I don't think it matters who's their number 9. To be honest,
it's really weird though, isn't it? When you look at Arsenal as a team, like obviously they're a team full of good players, but like when you look at them individually. Like, you look at, like, someone like City, when you think about facing them, or Liverpool, you're like, oh, God, how are we going to stop, Haaland? Like, he's such a good player. Like, they've got, like, standouts who you're, like, we're really worried about. When you look at Arsenal, are there any players, like, just individually, like, you're thinking, God, how are we going to stop them? Like, probably not. It's more just how they function as a team rather than, like, individuals, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, look, Saka is an unbelievable when Saka scores against us every time. So it's hard to say like we always handle Saka really well because we don't, because he always scores. So
does he? He scored. He does. I remember he scored a goal against us in the 2-2, and he scored a goal against us when we lost 3-2 at home last season. I don't think he scored against us.
Did he not score last season?
Because Gabriel scored the header. We lost 1-0, and then Trossard and own goal.
I'll tell you what, though, Gabriel being out is massive because he always scores against us.
He's always a big threat as well. Season before that, Saka scored when that under Nuno. They beat us 3-1 under Nuno.
He scores a lot against us, Saka. So I think naturally he is obviously a massive threat. And in terms of the forward line, he's the one with the most quality. So he's one of them that, you just think about, we got to stop him. And I think we can. I don't look at him being like, he's like Messi or Neymar or Mbappe, where it's just like, oh my God, how are we going to deal with this guy today? But the reality is he's a very good player. And on his day, he can skin us alive.
Yeah, the thing is with Saka, I feel like a lot of the time it's not even necessarily like he just gets the ball and he's going to skin you time after time. It's more like, he'll get the ball, like you'll just keep constantly getting the ball, right? And then at some point something's going to happen, and then he'll be decisive. But I always feel like Saka, it's not like he gets the ball and is like, he just takes you on every time. He's very like efficient with it.
Yeah.
Like he feels like it's not the right time to take you on, he won't do it. He's not like, unlike Kudus, where he's like, I'm just going to take you on. I'm going to get the ball. I'm just going to go at you every time. And if you're not having the best day, he can absolutely tear you apart. Whereas Saka will get it. He's like, I'm only going to take you on when I feel like it's the right time to do it. And that's he's a very clever player like that.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I think Kudus is going to be the main player for us
Yeah, it's got to be
Sunday.
100%.
We're going to need like a Roy the Rovers kind of display from him, honestly. Especially if we're playing 3-5-2. He's the one where like you can rely on him to physically against their backline at least be like dueling with them and like make it very difficult for them. And if he comes out on top, all of a sudden there will be space. Because one thing people don't realise about Arsenal, as much as they're very good defensively, but it's not because like they're super pragmatic. It's just because physically they're so dominant.
Yeah.
There's a graphic, I don't know if you saw it, there was like a release by, I think it was The Athletic, it was about how much control you have over all
And they have
pitch.
control over the whole pitch.
Basically, they have control over the whole pitch. And it's not because like they're sitting deep all the time. That's not how you get control. It's because they always have, everyone always has like players near each other, physically pressing, helping each other out. But if you do get any bit of joy, there is space there. No one's ever good enough to get there, get the space essentially.
Yeah.
Kudus maybe could be.
Yeah, and as well, because Gabriel's not playing, I always feel Saliba looks a lot better next to Gabriel than he does alongside their other centre-backs. And Mosquera's done very well when he's come in. Hincapié, we know, is a very good player. But that does give me a bit of hope that Gabriel isn't playing because those two look very good together.
But wasn't there a game Mosquera had to go for half-time because he wasn't having a great game?
No, I don't know.
What game was it? I'm pretty sure he had a game where he went off at half-time because he wasn't playing so well.
Who came on?
Can't remember. Like...
But I mean, for the most part, he's been very good.
Yeah, he has been good. But they're both good players, but as well, in these derbies, especially given the fact as well, it's the first game without Gabriel. Maybe there's going to be unfamiliarity there potentially.
That's what we got to hope and pray for. You know what I mean?
Because Gabriel, they're so used to playing with each other.
Yeah.
It might take maybe it will take more than just like a game or two to gain that familiarity.
So Mosquera came on at half-time for Saliba against Crystal Palace.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking of Kanate.
He came...
Newcastle.
He went off at half-time against Newcastle,
yeah. Newcastle, yeah, because he wasn't playing well.
Yeah.
I remember that game, that was it. He was struggling against Voltmader.
And it was Mosquera and Gabriel, that centre-back that time. So we just need to bully him then. That's the that's the name of the game. But look, it's going to be an emotional day, whatever happens, win, lose or draw on Sunday. What was it, 4:30 kickoff? So, yeah, if you're going, don't come back with a voice, like I say every time. I know I won't be.
Is this just going to be a set-piece coach off?
Yeah, very well could be. Very well could be. And
can we just scrap all the bits in the middle? Just give. You get 5 corners, we get 5 corners.
Yeah, penalty shootout of set pieces.
Corner shootout. Forget all the rubbish in the middle. We don't need any of that guff.
Yeah, I feel like this could be a very hard watch. This game, an extremely hard watch.
Why throw into 5 corners each?
Yeah.
See what happens. Half.
Yeah, that is a reason why we should go 3 at the back as well, just so Danso can play and we can use his throw-on ability.
Throws,
yeah.
I think he'll be thinking about that for sure.
Yeah.
He'll be thinking about that. And the thing with the long throws is, I know like we haven't scored from any, but what it does is it allows us more opportunities to get men in the box and then allows more opportunities to get corners.
Yeah.
And it just sustains that pressure.
Agreed.
So it's been so good at that as well.
All right. Well, this is the last we're going to say until we go to battle on Sunday. But come on, Tottenham. Just please pull it out of the bag for us. That's all I can say, man. I'm just hoping and praying, and I'm going to be praying all weekend until that time comes, 4:30 on Sunday, where we have to go deep into enemy territory.
You able to get any sleep before Sunday?
Well, I've got a baby at home, so probably not. So.
Baby and North London.
Yeah, you know, I mean, double whammy. But yeah, I want to know your thoughts on the derby in the comment section below. Put your predictions and predicted lineups as well in the comment section below. But thank you, everyone, for joining us. Let's go there and take 3 points, and let's make them wish they never joined North London. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.